Hello everybody, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode of the Horsey and Fox podcast. I'm of course one of your hosts, James, joined by George.
How's it going,
like
boys?
usual.
Hey.
How's it going?
Ayo. Oh,
It's good to be back. Last
good.
Episode, you alright?
Yeah,
You alright there?
So OBS just said skipped frames detected 25% over the last 2 minutes, and I haven't even been recording
Classic.
for 2 minutes, so I don't know what to say.
That's great. That's fantastic. That's good news.
So what were you saying?
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. Last episode was obviously the 16 spoiler cast.
It was a
which
good time.
was dedicated just to that, so not a lot of time to talk about other things or catch up or anything like that. Kind of had so much to go over, and it was still
That's
3
true.
hours.
It was still 3 hours, and there was listening back to it. There were still things I missed out that I wanted to talk about.
There's so
but it's
much.
cool.
There's so much in that game, but
Yeah,
it was a good
time.
podcast.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I do want to start off this episode though with an apology to our audio listeners. I forgot to post that podcast on podcast services until this morning.
Oh my
so,
god!
I'm deeply sorry, everybody.
How dare you?
I did. The thing is, I did render it out. Like it's been sitting on my computer since.
What did you do with it? You just
We did it. I just
left it
I just
there.
never uploaded it. I just forgot to
Amazing.
do it. So there's that.
There were
But
people
it's
waiting
up
with
now.
bated breath for.
I know they're probably like, "What the
release.
fuck? Why haven't you made a podcast in 2 months or whatever the fuck it
Honestly.
was?"
Jesus, yeah, that's true.
But we're good, and I won't let that happen again. Hopefully, at least not to this episode. But you know,
It'll happen again,
we'll
but that's
see.
okay.
I'm sure it'll happen again one day. I will forget, but that's fine. It's the thing is, right, I always forget to do. I mean, I don't forget, but like sometimes I do forget to do the audio ones, and I forget all the time to post the topics thread on Patreon because Tyler was the one that did those bits when we did as always.
I see, that makes sense.
I just managed the video bit and the thumbnail, so yeah, it's you know, a bit of a learning curve. I mean,
That's
it has
how it
been
is.
you know, over half a year at this point that we've been doing this, but
Damn.
you know, it's
Half
old
a
habits die hard,
year.
I guess.
They do. They do
and things
indeed.
like that. But yes, we are back. We're back. We've got plenty to catch up on. First
They do.
off on the list of things to catch up on, obviously you recently have been to Florence, somewhere I went earlier on in the year, and we've talked about it a bit in person, but obviously
Yeah,
it'd be
a
nice
little
to catch up about it on the podcast. I mean, you know, what was it like? What was the trip like overall?
It was bloody beautiful. I'm definitely gonna go back there, like semi soon. Maybe not like too soon, but it was such a wonderful city. I loved it. It was magical. There was so much atmosphere, great food, happy people. You know, the historical centre is incredibly interesting. Obviously, getting to see all the places from Assassin's Creed 2. You know, I was a happy man. You know, it was good. It was a good time.
Yeah,
it was just brilliant. We planned our days like surprisingly well as well, because we'd got there and we still hadn't booked anything yet, like in terms of like any of the attractions. We did that on the first night that we were there, and we did it pretty damn well. We got through pretty much everything I wanted to see except for Monteriggioni. But but I got to see Monteriggioni, to be fair. We drove past it, but I didn't get to go inside, so I mean that's just an excuse to go back again.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we saw on our first day, we sort of just had a wander around, went to the Piazza della Signoria, had a look at the statues around there and the Palazzo Vecchio. We went to, obviously, I mean, as soon as we got off the train, because we landed in Pisa. I think you guys went to Pisa, flew to Pisa as well.
Yeah.
Pisa airport is
we
fucking
did.
horrible, but I'll talk about that later. We got to Pisa airport. Getting there was fine. The experience at Pisa airport was great. Getting there, got the train from there to got the Pisa mover from the airport to the train station, and then went from Pisa to Florence, and literally we could not avoid walking past the Duomo. So that was the first thing that I saw when we were there. Really. Was the Duomo, because we had to walk like past it to get to our accommodation, and that shit was so surreal.
That was the same. Yeah, it was the same for me. I just like we came around the corner and it was just right there. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't expect that to just be there.
Yeah,
It was wild.
blew my mind. The shit was insane. I had to like put my suitcase down. I'd be like, I need a picture of this. I need to sit here and look at it for a little bit. So we sort of just wandered about the city on the first day. Didn't really do anything too much. We went and got some pizza, like, for dinner, which was so good, and I had some really good wine, which was like, I don't even remember what it was called. I might have a picture of it somewhere. The picture of the bottle, actually. I believe I do. Let me grab that shit real quick. Bottle. It was Chianti, and I had like a specific name on the menu, but at least I have a picture of the bottle. Let me show it to the camera. Oh, the exposure's too high. You can't really see it.
I could try and insert it on the edit if you send it on Discord.
I could send it
if I remember.
It's wonderful red wine. Chianti Fattoria Palazzuolo. I don't know where that is, or if that's meant to be a place, or the place that it was made, or what, but that's what it says in the front of the bottle, and it was so good.
Nice.
It was so good. I got really drunk.
Yeah.
And then
I did. Yeah, I don't think I had a bad wine while I was there. It was all of it was just great. You can't really go wrong, to be honest.
It was just tasty, and I'd always drink the whole bottle. Like, cause my mate, he prefers beer. Like, he's not too huge of a fan of like wine. Like, he likes it, but he's not like too crazy on it. So he'd normally order a beer, and I'd be stuck with this whole bottle. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna drink it. And then we'd always just be coming out of the restaurant, and I'm like, I'm so drunk. But it would always be so satisfying, because like, you have a lovely, delicious big meal, and your belly's all full, and then you get a little bit drunk off the wine. You're just walking around the city, and it's just such a good fucking vibe. The weather was amazing when we were there. I don't know how it was for you guys in April. Was it good?
It was decent. Yeah, it was fine. It was decent. There were some days it was a little cold when we were like standing. We stood in line to get into the Duomo, and it was super cold that day. Yeah. But every other day it was like decently
like good
warm,
spring weather. It was April, wasn't it? So
yeah.
It was like a
sometimes
spring
I had
chill.
like at some points I had to wear a jacket, like just to just a bit. But at other times, like most days, I'd end up just taking it off and just carrying it around because it was warm enough that you could just kind of wear a t-shirt. So, it was alright.
It was so fucking hot. Because obviously we went in end of July, like sense. It was, July was the hottest. Well, July is now the hottest month recorded in Earth's history. This July that's just gone by, wild. Like globally. But yeah, it was super fucking hot. To the point where I wish I would have brought like sandals or something, because it was so hot. Right. We had to when we were walking from place to place, we would have to walk on the side of the road that has shade on it, because it was just too hot to sit and stand in the sun for too long.
Fuck. What temperature was it?
It was like most 35 days. Most days, like around about.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it was really hot.
Mental.
And like the cathedrals obviously are not air conditioned. The museums are not air conditioned, so it's like, yeah. I was debating getting one of those fans and like bringing that around, but I had a pamphlet and that worked just fine.
Yeah. Oh my god, that is hot though.
Yeah, it was incredibly hot. But it was nice to be able to walk around in shorts and t-shirt and not have any worry at all about having to wear anything else. So yeah, first day when I got a meal. Second day we did the Palazzo Pitti and the Boboli Gardens and the Giardino Bardini, which is
I liked it there.
Yeah,
that was nice.
It was nice. Although I think when you guys went to the Bardini Gardens, were there the tunnel with the purple flowers? Were they purple? Yes. So we worked out their spring flowers. They're only purple during spring, because we literally were so excited to see this purple tunnel of flowers, and we got there and they were all dead and they were all on the floor.
No.
And we were like, fuck, that's like the one fucking part of this little park that's like, the coolest thing to see. Obviously you've got like the nice view of the city and stuff, but like everything else in the Bardini Gardens is pretty like, I mean, because we'd done the Boboli Gardens before doing the Bardini Gardens, so it was like,
and that's way bigger.
Yeah, like super underwhelming. And I was like, but the purple flowers will redeem it. It was like, they're not even there. Like, we saw them dead on the floor. Like, there were a few attached to the plants still, and we were like, damn, I guess they're only in season during spring, which is fine because the garden was still nice too. But Palazzo Pitti was very cool. Loads of cool ceiling paintings. You guys went there, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
And there was like a nice little bit you could sit and like there's like a cafe there, I suppose, and we went and sat there for like a good hour in between like going to the palace and having a look around there, and then going to the gardens. We sat at this little cafe and just smoked cigarettes for an hour, which was great.
Yeah, I think we sat there too. Yeah, before going to the gardens.
You kind of have to, you know. It hurts being on your feet all day.
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it was beautiful. Although I'm thinking of the Uffizi Gallery actually. Never mind. I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, we did that. Cool ceiling paintings. I got so many pictures of all that stuff. And then we went to the gardens, which was really cool as well. Like, it's so big. The gardens are so big that you can walk for 20 minutes and still be in the gardens, which is fucking mental.
It's wild.
It's like not even. It's more of a park than it is a garden. It's like a nature reserve almost.
It's big. Yeah.
It's huge. Statues everywhere and like benches and little winding paths, and it was so fucking cool. Felt like I was in the Garden of Eden or some shit.
Eden. Oh hey.
What even is that reference to? The Bible.
Assassin's Creed.
No. Drink Christians do that when you mention something offhand about the Bible, and they're like, it's a reference to that fucking verse in the Bible.
Soy jacking at the Bible references.
Honestly, average Christian, groomer. That sounds like groomer. Oh god.
Fuck.
Yeah, so we did that. Gardens. We had a very garden-based day on our second day, because we also checked out the gardens, because where we were staying was a former 17th century or 16th century palace, which was pretty fucking cool. From the street side, it doesn't look like a palace. It just looks like normal terraces, I guess. But when you go through the garden entrance, which would have been the original entrance to the palace, you get to see the whole like Italian garden area, which is beautiful. There's like statues in there as well and stuff, and a fountain directly in the center, and benches. And then walking up to the actual building itself, you can see the crest of the family that originally owned it. And there's like statues on the building, and then towards like the right of the garden, there's like the servants' quarters and stuff with more statues on it. It was so cool. That was where we were staying, which was great. It was very cool to have just access to that garden. Although we only went there once, to be fair, because it's like, what do you do there? Just like sit there for a bit and then go, that's nice, and then leave again.
I suppose it's a nice vibe.
Yeah, it was cool to have the option to go there if we wanted to. Second day, I'm gonna have to look through my pictures because it's hard for me to recollect this.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Second day, we went to. Oh no, that was the second day that I was just talking about. My bad. Third day.
That was this. Literally was. Yeah, I knew that too. I know
well, that was the night I also got the steak, the filet mignon, which was delicious.
Oh right, yeah.
With like roast potatoes and roast tomatoes and a bit of spinach. Oh, it was so good. It was so delicious. Yeah. And then that night as well, when we left the restaurant, we were walking back to our accommodation, and you know how there's lots of buskers in Florence?
Yeah.
And there was this dude. I'll show the picture of him. Oh, you can't see him again because the exposure. That's fucked. There you go. You can see him when I tilt it backwards. There you go. His name was Alfio Grescio, and he was sick. He was playing like Pink Floyd when we walked through, and of course I was drunk, and he was playing "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd, and I was like, we have to stay and listen to him. He just played loads of bangers, like back-to-back bangers, which was great.
Nice.
It's like some fucking Creedence Clearwater Revival and Pink Floyd and fucking Guns N' Roses, I think, as well. It was great.
Nice.
So yeah, third day we did the Uffizi Gallery, the Academia Gallery, and that was it, I believe. I swear there was one more thing we did on that day. Did we? I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, I believe it was just those two, actually. We went to the markets as well on that day. So we went to the Uffizi Gallery first. Had a look at all the statues there, which was really cool to see, like Marcus Aurelius and Julius Caesar and Titus and all the other emperors and all the statues of the Roman gods. And learning a bit about them too, how like certain statues were, they were interpreted by the Italians because they were from the Roman era, and they were interpreted and repaired by the Italians during the Renaissance. But sometimes they would get it wrong, and they would say, "Oh, it's this dude," and then modern historians would look back and be like, "Actually, no, that's wrong. It was they repaired it wrong, and they repaired it with the wrong head on it, or something like that," which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is quite cool.
So we went to the Uffizi Gallery, which is very cool, and then we went to the markets and got a sandwich, and the sandwiches are so good. And just like, did you go to the market? Market
No,
Centrale?
we didn't. We were going to, but we just, I don't know, because we were there for longer, so I don't really know how you did it and we didn't.
10 days, however long you were there.
Yeah. I don't know why we didn't. I don't remember. I guess we just, the way we planned our days just ended up being different. I think you managed squeezed a lot into every day, whereas we took it a bit more chilled and then just ended up not running out of time, I guess.
That's how it is. I mean, it's nice there. We bought some like fresh fruit and like a sandwich and like some drinks and stuff, like some lemon soda, and it was a nice vibe. But yeah, it's not like a must see. It's a very cool atmosphere though, like walking through, because we walked through like one of the more modernized ones that has a food court at the top, which is where we got our sandwiches from. But we also walked through one of the like sort of older ones that is like very cram packed in, and there's like lots of bustle and stuff, which was pretty cool.
You were walking through the crowd.
I felt like a blade in the crowd. I did. Well, I didn't have a blade. I had a vape.
Thankfully, yeah. I mean, that's better, safer.
Exactly, it is. And then, of course, after the market, we went to the Academia Gallery, which has the statue of David, which was very cool to see in person.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Just knowing that Michelangelo's hands touched that and crafted it,
I know,
was just cool to see.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. Lots of statues in there. I will say the Uffizi Gallery is better than the Academia Gallery, I think.
Yeah, I think I probably agree.
Because there was more statues in the Uffizi Gallery, and I think I like the statues more than the paintings. The paintings are very cool, don't get me wrong, but there's only so many times I can see a different interpretation of Jesus on the cross before it's like, okay.
There's a lot of those.
There's so many. That's to be expected.
Yeah.
I mean, religious art, that's what's to be expected from it. And there were some really cool ones.
Which was the gallery that had the Da Vinci paintings in? Because
that was Uffizi. That was Uffizi. There was a whole room dedicated to Da Vinci. Yeah,
because I remember because they were in like the Da Vinci Disappearance. That's like there was at least one or two that are the ones that have like the secrets hidden in them that you have to do with Salai, and I was like, I'll scan that with Eagle Vision.
Yeah, that's true. To be fair, I did recognize a couple of them, and I was like, that's well, one of them I think I recognized, which was cool. Oh, there was the one of Angel Gabriel appearing to the Mary. Is that from Assassin's Creed? I don't know if it is, but there's a very nice painting anyway. It was very cool. Although I don't know why Mary's in Italy.
It's a good time.
It's like in Italian canon of Catholicism. It took place in Italy. So we did all that. When I had some pasta for dinner, which was so good. I had carbonara, which is like egg and pork jowl sauce, bit of parmesan on top of that. It was so good. It looked like such a small amount, but that shit was so filling. I was struggling to finish it. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
That was so delicious. Had some wine with that, of course. I mean, like literally most days in the evening, I was drunk when we were there because I was like, why not order a bottle of wine and just have the whole thing? I'm on fucking holiday.
I definitely. I had a glass of wine every night. I definitely would have ordered a bottle, but I think Alpha would have been really pissed off with me if every night I got drunk on a whole bottle of wine. Like I just think she would have been so unhappy.
Why does she not drink? Does she not drink and get drunk too?
Alpha doesn't drink much. No.
She's Irish.
Also not, like it's super weird. I don't know why. She's also not like big on wine as well, so like she wouldn't even share a bottle with me.
No.
So like I probably would have, but I do think she would have been like annoyed that she was like not drunk at all, and I was just drunk. I think she would have been annoyed.
Why would that be annoying?
Maybe she wouldn't. I think she probably would have been more annoyed that I was spending lots of money on a bottle of wine.
Oh, okay. But you're on holiday. You got to don't worry about money when you're on holiday.
I know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm judging wrong. Maybe I just thought that. Maybe I just thought she'd be annoyed, and she actually wouldn't have been annoyed at all. I don't know.
Yeah.
Next time I'll test it.
Next time I'll come with you, and we can share a bottle of wine. All right.
Yes, fantastic. That's what I need. That's actually what I need.
Yeah, man. And then we went after dinner. We got some gelato, and I had strawberry. It was so good. It's not like strawberry fucking ice cream you got over here. That's shit. Well, it's not shit. I do like strawberry ice cream still, but it's got that fake strawberry taste. Whereas this just tasted like frozen strawberries. Oh god, it was so fucking good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Oh, it's amazing. So that was the third day, I believe, something like that. One of the days. And then the next day was the big day where we did our tour from Florence to Siena to San Gimignano. And to Pisa with some wine tasting in between Siena and San Gimignano. So we had to wake up super early, like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And get to the train station because that's where we were meeting our guide at it was like 7:45.
Yeah.
So it was early.
Super early.
It was very early. And when we were in the line waiting for the bus, did you ever encounter like these beggars that will like hunch over and like make themselves look all vulnerable and stuff, and like hold out like a cup and just almost become hysterical, like crying?
I don't think I encountered any of those.
It was fucking mental.
I have heard some things. That's mental.
I just turned around and didn't pay any attention to them, and they didn't bother me. But like, it was just crazy. Like this woman just like hunched over, just going, just like holding out this cup, and I was like, bruh, at least fucking perform for me if you want some money. Like, I'm fucking English, right? But yeah, no, it was weird. But we went to Siena first. Beautiful little town or city, I suppose. It is a city, isn't it?
It is.
Beautiful place. I like the whole the El Campo, or whatever it's called, the horse race that takes place yearly in Siena. I don't know if I'm sure your guide mentioned it when you were there as well.
We went unguided.
You went unguided.
Yeah, because we read basically when I was looking for ones, I read reviews. And people said, well, it was like we went with the tour, but we didn't go around Siena with the tour guide. We just like went off and met them back at the bus. But it was because when I was reading reviews, people were like, oh yeah, it was fun, and it was like decently interesting, but it was a bit it was a bit too basic, and so we thought, we'll just like go off and just sort of have a bit of an explore, maybe go to some shops, see the places, and then head back, sort of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was what we were going to do originally. But we found this tour like on TripAdvisor or something, and had like 13,000 5-star reviews, and everyone was like, "This is fucking great. If you want to see Tuscany and or the most significant place in Tuscany in one day, definitely do it." And obviously, we didn't have extra days to spare for individual visits to Siena and Pisa, so we were like, "Let's just fucking do it." It was super good. Like, not only did we get a guided like walk of like areas of the city from like a woman who lives there, but we also got like an hour or so to just walk around like on our own, so long as we got back to the meeting location within the time frame. It was really cool, like the horse race they hold yearly for the because Siena is split up into 17 different districts, all that have an animal assigned to them, and there's a horse race that they have yearly where I think 10 of the 17 neighborhoods compete in this 76-second horse race, in which tens of the piazza in the center of Siena with the where the multiplayer map is set.
Yeah.
They cram like thousands of people into that square to watch this horse race, and like people like rent out their balconies and stuff so people can like watch it from up high, and like the people proper get into it. Like, this is like incredibly important to them. Like, if they're neighborhood wins, they'll be celebrating for that entire year until the next race. So it's just an excuse to like get drunk and have good times with family and friends and stuff. And like they're really passionate about it, which is pretty cool. But like they prepare for the entire year, and the race lasts 76 seconds. And like people like cry over it when they lose and stuff, and they'll like just be super upset and down about it. And like it's just really interesting. And what's funny is the horse that wins gets brought into the cathedral and like fucking baptized or some mental shit. Like they'll like have a ceremony for the horse that wins. Yeah, it's fucking insane. Oh, also an interesting fact is like if the jockey falls off, because there's a particularly sharp corner where lots of jockeys fall off. But if the jockey falls off and the horse continues on to win, the horse still wins, which is pretty cool. Because it's like,
cool, yeah.
The horses aren't picked by any individual. It's like a raffle. So if you get a horse that's not one of the favoured ones, you just have to deal with it. Because it's like it's meant to represent like the lottery of life and how you sort of just have to play with what you're given, basically. So that was super cool to learn about. And each neighbourhood has... You can tell which neighbourhood you're in based on the street lamps, because they'll all have different designs on them that represent like the different places. We only got to walk through 3 neighbourhoods, so I think we saw the caterpillar, the porcupine, and the rhino neighbourhoods. But it was just super cool that when you're passing into a new neighbourhood, because they have different things on the lampposts or like adorned on the walls and stuff of buildings. Like there were flags in the rhino neighbourhood, whereas there was like little coloured street lamps in the caterpillar neighbourhood and stuff, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Went to the cathedral that is in Siena as well. We got to go inside with the tour guide as well, which is pretty cool. Very beautiful in there. It's got the same use of like white stone as the Duomo in Florence as well, which was interestingly taken from Asia. that method of building, well, that colour scheme. The architects that built these cathedrals because Italy was almost like a bridge between Europe and Asia. I suppose Turkey is like Constantinople was, but Italy was like the place where lots of cultures would sort of mingle into one, where lots of people from Europe and Africa and Asia would come to Italy. And so a lot of the people that built these cathedrals took inspiration from like mosques and stuff, and that's why there's lots of like black and white stone used in their cathedrals, which I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, we did that, walked about in there for a bit, and then we were basically done in Siena by that point. Did the wine tasting, in which I became very drunk at midday. It was like 1 p.m.
How much wine did you have?
Well, they gave us entire bottles to like share. We would be sitting on these long tables because we were also eating food as well. It was like pasta, like organic pasta that they'd given us, and like like cheese and like meats and stuff, like cold cut meats and stuff, which was great. But yeah, we were sitting on these long tables, and just we were sat next to strangers, just like me and my mate were facing each other. There were strangers to my left, strangers to my right, and we all just sort of sat along these long tables. And they would basically just say, okay, you guys from you to here, you can have this bottle between you. They just put the bottle on the table and you just pour as much wine as you want and, make sure everyone gets some. Most people that we were with sort of in our group, I suppose, would have like a glass or like a bit, and then I'd go, I can have a little bit more, and they'd be like, yeah, fine, I mean, I'm not having much anyway, so you may as well have it. So yeah, I ended up getting very drunk on that, which didn't expect to happen, but it was great. We were sitting next to these 2 Americans, which I think I told you about the other day. Well, on our left were 2 Americans, and on our left were 2 women from New Delhi, who had travelled like an insane distance to come to Italy. And we were talking to the Americans and stuff about like all sorts of shit like gun laws and fucking knife crime, and it turns out that one of them is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, sorry, and my friend last year had been to Pennsylvania, and this guy was like, oh, where did you visit? And he was like, "Oh, this place, I don't remember what the name was called." And the dude was like, "Oh, coincidentally, I live like 15 minutes down the road from there," which was wild. And they were like, "Why did you go to this like tiny place in Pennsylvania? Because it's very rural. It's like, you know, lots of small settlements." And they were like, "Why the fuck did you go there?" He was like, "Just wanted to check out the breweries and stuff, because they have lots of breweries out there in the country that you can just go to and like try their beer or whatnot."
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. And then basically for the rest of the tour, those two Americans were sort of like our mates that we'd like sort of bump into every now and then. So that was fun. With the wines we had like 1 white, 2 reds, and like a dessert wine that you dip biscuit into, which was weird, but it tasted like fucking whiskey. Like,
yeah,
it was a weird wine. And it looked like whiskey as well. It was like sort of brown and see-through, opposed to being like, you know, a red or a white. It was super fucking strong. I can taste it now even thinking about it. But yeah, I drank that. I drank all the wine I could. And like when we were done eating, there was this old Australian man like 2 seats away from me to my right, and he was like, "I've ordered another bottle. I need a partner, mate." And I was like, I poured myself a big glass of wine out of the bottle that he'd ordered, and that was great. And then I took it outside, and we sort of the vineyard that we were at, there was like sort of like a bit of decking outside, and people were sitting there by that point as well, sort of just drinking and chilling. And you could just see San Gimignano on the hill in the distance, and I was just like, this moment is so great. It was so, and like the sun was beating down. It was beautiful. It was so fucking nice.
It's good vibes.
It was great. And then after that, we got back on the coach, and then we went to San Gimignano, which was wonderful. It's so cool to see in person, the towers, that little chapel. Where you tail Jacopo de Pazzi from.
Yeah. Because that's like the part of like Italy that was the most similar to the game. Where I'm like, this actually looks identical to it.
It was wild. And like that little well.
So weird.
The well on that street.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking mental. Oh god, it was like perfect recreation of San Gimignano in Assassin's Creed 2. But yeah, it was beautiful to walk around. Went up to the top of the tallest tower in San Gimignano too. We were trying to look for where you got tickets for this tower or how you entered it, and we accidentally walked into this place we shouldn't have been in. We like walked in. There was like these dudes like practicing like a band or something like that, and like we were just like sort of looking around, and they sort of walked down, and they were like, "What are you guys doing here?" And we were like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Oh, that's okay." Luckily, he spoke English, so I mean, you know, we could communicate to him that we were lost and had no idea where we were going. Eventually, found our way up there. Fucking gorgeous views of Tuscany, like the hills stretching as far as the eye can see. It was fucking insane. Felt like it was a viewpoint. And we were up there, and there were lots of people coming up, but not a lot of people coming down. So we were like 15 minutes away from having to get back to the coach, and we were like, "Fuck, we need to get back there, otherwise they're gonna leave us." And they just kept coming up and not letting people down. And like finally, as soon as we were able to be let down, we had like 10 minutes left before we had to be back to the coach. So we had to we knew that the southern gate was where we had to go to get out, because that's just where it was. That's where the fast travel station is. And
classic.
Like, because when we were both coming into the city, the town, we were both quite drunk, so it was like we were like, where the fuck did we come from? And we were like had limited time left, and like we were like, oh fuck, how are we gonna get back? But then we used a conjunction of Google Maps and the map that the guide gave us to get back to the coach, and it was okay anyway, because by the time we got back, everyone was still waiting for one last woman anyway that was like on her own, so we waited for her. And she managed to get back, and then we went to Pisa, which was great. It was cool. Yeah, no, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's as cool as the first two, because they're a lot more. The city's a lot more historical. Like Pisa is a little bit more modern, and we only went there to go to the Piazza del Duomo anyway, which is where the Leaning Tower of Pisa is. and the two sort of religious buildings next to it. I think one of them's a cathedral. I don't know what the other one is. But we got to go up the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which was really cool. Very cool building. Strangely enough, I think Hitler wanted to blow it up during World War II.
Oh no!
And like
why?
the only reason, because he's a fucking fucker. And I think the only
true.
reason...
Why did I ask why? Like, he had a good reason for doing the other things that he did.
He just wanted to erase culture because he was a fucker. But the reason it didn't happen is because the dude that he asked to do it was like, nah, I don't want to do that. Like the general that he said do it. He was like, I don't feel like doing that, so he didn't do it.
Well, that's good. Which
is nice to see, yeah, for sure. Got to go up it. Had a nice view of the adjacent cathedrals and whatnot, and the city, of course, and the mountains. I mean, it's a very... There are lots of mountains near Pisa.
Yeah.
Specifically, I think it's like... There's there's lots of quarries on it, because there's like white rock up to the peak of the mountain that they like to use. Or they use it in makeup products and stuff. Like for powder, I guess. I don't really know. And my tour guide was basically just like, so if you want the mountains to remain looking cool, don't buy makeup products that include this. I think it's like white marble or something like that.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Well, I won't. I won't.
I won't be doing that either.
I'll make sure not to.
So that's Pisa. We did Pisa, got back home. And I think that night we were both so tired we just got a McDonald's or something like that. Because there was one that was like super close to where we were staying, so we could just walk around the corner and there was a McDonald's there, so easy.
We did visit a McDonald's.
You kind of have to.
You kind of have to. Like, we're very loyal to McDonald's.
Yeah.
I feel like part of visiting another country is like, I wonder what their McDonald's is like.
Yeah, it's like, do they have any unique items?
They're all different.
On the
and
menu.
They do have weird, interesting things in Italy. It's a bit more similar, I think, to the UK. But
yeah, it is. It's
do
like
have,
when I was in
things.
fucking Tenerife, they had McBites.
Yeah, that's
so you
mental.
have to, whenever you check, you have to see. You know, you have to go to McDonald's to see if they've got McBites. And I was so it was like when I took a bite out of them, it was like that scene in Ratatouille when the dude fucking
like goes back to his childhood. Yeah, and you're like, oh my god, like. I can't believe this.
It's insane.
Yeah,
but you do have to mate, go to Tenerife because they guaranteed have them there
just for the McBites.
Just for the McBites, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. That was so good.
But yeah, there was something on the McDonald's menu called the My Menu Chicken Creation, which was just a funny name. Chicken Creation. I don't know what that even means.
That's mental.
I always like the translated or like half translated names and stuff, because when we were in Tenerife, there was one called like it was called like the intense cheese McCheese or so. It was a fucking mental name. It was like intense. It had intense in the name. I don't know why it was intense, but shit was crazy.
Man.
So yeah, that was that day, and then this was our last full day, which was Friday. We went up Giotto's bell tower. Got a lovely view of the Duomo and the rest of the city. And then after that, I think we came back down before going into the Duomo. And we went to Atlantico Vinaio, the sandwich shop, which was delicious. Let me see if I can show this picture of the sandwich. You can sort of see it if I tilt it up that way. It was lovely. It was the L'Italiano or something like that was the name of the sandwich. It was just like ham and cheese and tomato and basil, which was lovely.
Man,
it was so good. So good. Fucking hell.
I
miss the sandwiches over there, man.
Yeah, they're so good. They're insanely good. It's ridiculous.
The sandwiches I have for lunch at work, they just don't hit. They're just God, I was fiending for an Italian sandwich. But yeah, after we ate food, we then went inside the Duomo, the Santa Maria del Fiore. Had a look around in there. Gorgeous. It's got the big old ceiling with the painting on it in the dome, which was fucking insane to look at. Like, the pictures on my phone just don't do it justice. because of the scale of it. You can't really get a sense of scale of it. But yeah, it was lovely in there. And underneath the Duomo as well. I don't know if you did do the Santa Reparata?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
it was very cool too, with the Roman
cool.
ruins and stuff. But also, it's like 4 different eras of like history. In there. So you have Roman, then you have Romanesque, and whatever the other ones are. I don't remember what they were called, but it was very cool to see. Like, I got to touch bricks that were laid by the Romans.
Yeah,
like, what? Crazy. What?
Yeah.
Shit was insane.
It's very cool.
Then after that, we went to the Basilica di Santa Croce. And I think that was the last place we went to, actually. I believe. Oh, no, wait, no, it wasn't the last place we went to, but it might as well have fucking been. So yeah, it was great in there. Really cool. Again, just nice to like sit and take the atmosphere, look at the the art. Has Michelangelo's crypt in there as well, and Dante's, which was cool. They were both like right next to each other. So that was cool. And then the last place we went to on this day was the Baptistry of St. John. And unfortunately, there was construction inside, so we couldn't see the ceiling. So it was shit.
That's fucking rough.
Because like we'd all like the ceiling of the St. John's Baptistry is the most impressive part of it. Like that's the point of going there. You know, the it is cool inside there. It's got cool statues and stuff, but like we'd seen enough statues and we'd seen enough inside of enough cathedrals and minor basilicas to sort of like just seeing the architecture was like we've been desensitized to it. So I was like super excited for the ceiling. And yeah, they didn't have the ceiling, but they did have a big scaffold there and like a net with a picture of the ceiling on it. But yeah, we were in there for all of about 5 minutes, and then we were like, okay, that's the last place we visited, like the last historical building we visited in Florence, and it was shite, but yeah, it was okay.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, and then our last day, we basically we spent a good amount of time sitting around, like, because we'd pretty much done most of the stuff we wanted to, but we didn't have enough time to say get a coach to Monteriggioni on our last day and then come back. So we just had to sort of walk around Florence. So we did like a victory lap of the city. Like we went across the Ponte Vecchio one last time, went to the Piazza della Signoria, past the Duomo, sort of had a look at all the last stuff one last time before leaving. And then yeah, we got the train to Pisa. Oh fucking hell, the train was fucked because 2 of the trains like that were meant to be earlier in the day were cancelled, so everybody from those trains were on our train. And it was horrible. So that means that like it was meant to be like a 1 hour journey, but ended up being like 2 hours because the train was stopping at every single station on the way to Pisa.
Yeah, we also fucked up our train journey to Pisa.
Yeah,
like I don't know what we did wrong. Like, we were trying to find the right thing. Like, it seemed like definitely right. Like, this time on this platform, we're like, okay, that's the one. Like, an hour's train journey to Pisa.
Yeah.
We ended up somehow getting a train that took 2.5 hours.
Fuck.
And I don't fucking know how it happened. Luckily, we managed to get seats, like, in the first, like, 15 minutes of the journey. Like, there was some seats available. We quickly hopped in, and then we were good for the rest of the trip. But, like... If we hadn't, we'd just been standing there for 2.5 hours with suitcases and shit too.
Yeah, we had our suitcases with us too. But we luckily we weren't standing either because there was these 2 guys. Like we were walking through and there were like these couple of American girls and we were like, oh, can we sit here? Like it's super crowded on this train. And they were like, our friends got lost, so they're meant to be here. And we were just like, oh, fair enough. Like I'm not gonna beg you for your seat. Like you clearly don't want us to sit next to you, so that's fine. And these 2, like, I don't know where they were from, didn't speak English. And we said to them, like, oh, seat, can we sit here? And they were like, yes, seat. They were loving it, so we just sat there.
Yeah.
And luckily we got a seat, like, super early on.
Yeah,
but it was just fucking not fun anyway. 'Cause it was such a long fucking train. It was at that point where you just sort of like, we're going home. I want to just be home in England now. But that wasn't even the fucking start of it. That wasn't even the start of it. Because we got to Pisa fucking airport, and fuck me, the flight lounge was fucked. it was packed to the brim. Like, it was stressful even standing in there of how many people were there and how fucking hot it was because of all the people in there. And we were like, okay, so we got to Pisa Airport at like 7. Our flight wasn't until 10. So we had
this PM?
3 hours. Yeah, PM.
Right.
So we had like 3 hours to kill. So we were like, okay, let's get some food while we're here. We might as well. Like, we may as well get some food. What the fuck else are we going to do? There was this sandwich shop. Like, normally, airports in England and stuff, you got like a Burger King you can go to and stuff. You're always guaranteed some sort of fast food spot where you can grab something. There was none of that in the flight lounge, which obviously you know because you've been to Pisa Airport.
I have, yeah. There's a little like cafe thing. We grabbed a sandwich there.
Yeah, we got a sandwich from the sandwich place. But I don't know if it was as busy.
No, it was not that busy. There was a ton. Our flight was also early in the morning. Too.
I see. That probably would have been way better.
And we didn't have. It was really not stressful at all because we'd stayed overnight in Pisa at a hotel.
I see. That makes sense.
So in the morning we just got a taxi, got to the airport.
Yeah.
It wasn't busy. Grabbed a sandwich, sat down. Then went to our flight. Yeah, it was very easy.
Even when we were trying to get our fucking sandwich, there were people pushing in the line, because like there wasn't really like a set line. It was like people were just lining back towards duty free. So it was sort of just like you had to just pick a spot in the line, and like just sit there and stand there. And there were people like trying to get past you and like walk through the line and stuff to like get to like where the gates were. It was horrible. And then we got to like sort of the shop front. The line finally reached there, and then people were pushing in, and we were like, "Fuck's sake! Why are there people fucking pushing in the line and shit?" But we finally got our sandwiches, and like I had to eat mine standing up because there were no seats left. And that was fun. And I had to sit on my suitcase for an additional like 2 hours because there were no seats left. And then our flight got delayed by 1 hour and 10 minutes. So that was fun. That was great. We got to the gate finally, and then the gate was delayed, and then we got through the gate and they wouldn't let us on the plane because that was delayed.
Oh no.
So yeah, by the time we got on the plane, I was like, I don't even care about going home. I just want to fucking get back to England.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then we got back to England and it was okay, and we had a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And that was great. But then I got home by like, by the time I got home, it was 5 o'clock in the morning and the sun was rising.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's mental.
Shit,
what
was
airport
insane.
did you fly into in England?
Stansted. It should not have taken us that long.
No.
We arrived back in England at like 1. No. Yeah, 1. And then, about 1:30. And then we got out of the airport at 2. It should not have taken us 3 hours to get back to Northampton from Stansted, but it did because...
Yeah, it's insane. How did it possibly take that long?
Well, we went to a service station because it said, oh, there's a KFC and a Subway open here. And we were like, oh, nice, we can grab some food. Got there, it was all closed. And then we had to double back on ourselves and drive back to the fucking airport, to the McDonald's that's next to the airport. We got to the McDonald's, pulled up, parked up, walked to the door. It's drive-through only. Oh, great. Drive-through took us about half an hour to get through because it was fucking heaving. And then we ate, chilled, and then, I probably took up like a good like hour or so just doing that. And we finally got home and I was like, thank fuck. And then I saw Oscar and Hudson and they were like, what the fuck? Because it was like 5 a.m. and they were not expecting a gamer to walk through the door at 5 a.m.
Oh man.
But they were loving it, and that was my trip. That was my trip to Italy. It was amazing. Well, to Florence. I'm definitely going to go back to Italy. I want to go do Venice and Rome.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
It's beautiful. It was probably one of my favourite holidays I've ever had. Ever. It was amazing, and I really recommend it. And also this girl that follows me on Instagram, she's going interrailing in Italy soon, and she messaged me and was like, "Do you have any recommendations?" And I was like, "Well, I have a fucking document, a fucking like 17-page document I wrote up before going. Do you want it?" So now she's got it. So I'm happy
That's crazy.
pass on my knowledge. Sorry, go on.
I'm shocked you planned it so well. I did not expect you to do that. That's so mental.
We did a fucking good job. Look, when I'm left to do things on my own, I do them well. It's when other people are getting involved and going, "Oh, you should do this. I remember to do this." It's like, fuck off. and then I forget shit. When I'm doing it on my own, it's like, okay, I know how to do this, and I know how to do this, and I know how to do this. Easy.
Yeah, I sent you that video thinking he won't.
Oh no, that video was amazing.
It's a great video.
That video is fucking perfect. And now next time,
and I love that guy too.
Yes, yeah, he's a weird little dude. I like him.
Seems like such a nice man.
Yeah, I like him. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever I go on holiday anywhere now, I'm gonna write a document for it, and I'm gonna look up travel videos for it, and I'm just gonna compile a big thing, because it's like not even everything on the document we did or like needed to do, but it was just nice to have it there to be like, okay, we can do this if we've got some downtime. We can do this. We can switch this out for this. It was great. It's so good.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that from now on. Whenever I go on, no matter where I go on holiday, I'm gonna do some research before going, because it makes it super fun. You actually know what you're doing. Whereas in Tenerife, we sort of like had to plan stuff on the day instead of knowing already what we could do. So yeah. Good fucking time. I loved it.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to go
back. For sure. Florence is definitely just an incredible place to be. Like, it just felt good. Like, every day, just wandering around. It just good felt
vibes.
Nice. Like, yeah, just really, really good vibes. Like, it just feels like it's just such a nice place. Like, it just feels very, like, I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know whether it's because I was already familiar with Florence.
Yeah.
Like, from Assassin's Creed, obviously. Like, whether that was what made it feel so, like, just... It just feels very safe and, like, very nice. And, just... You know, you never feel like, oh, am I in a dodgy spot or a dodgy area? Like, no, all of Florence just feels good.
No, yeah. It just feels like a good place to be. And everyone's very nice and welcoming.
Yeah. They are. They're very nice.
The restaurant service. Oh, my God. They go above and beyond with that shit. It's actually insane.
I know, it's crazy. And they're also, like, insanely quick. Like...
Yeah, they are.
It's mental to me. Like, sometimes I was like, I actually want you to be a little bit slower, because I just kind of like to vibe here for a little bit. But
yeah.
You guys are just so speedy. It's like, you come in...
That's why I buy a bottle of wine, so that after my meal, I don't feel bad about sitting there for ages, because I've got a bottle of wine that I'm drinking.
Yeah, that's the key to it, because I just felt like, you know, you'd come in, like, it was so quick. Like, in the UK, you usually, like, you were maybe like 2 hours to go to a restaurant or something, like, maybe less depending on...
Yeah, like, between an hour and 2 hours.
What time, But, like, you know, sometimes in Italy, like, you go in, you're, like, in and out in, like, 30 minutes.
Shit's
like,
insane.
They're so quick.
Yeah.
And it's also, like, everything's also really good. The service is great. Like, the people are all just so nice as well.
Yeah, they are. Super nice.
And
they give you free water. Like, the free water on the fucking table was so great.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned it to you the other day. It's like, I don't have to worry about, like, if I wanted to drink wine, I don't have to worry about getting wine and then also getting, like, a soft drink to drink as well. It's like, you know, I can just get the wine, the water's free, I can guzzle that and then drink my wine with my meal and not have to worry about being thirsty. Because it's like, when you drink alcohol, you're not drinking it because you're thirsty. Like, I've never drank alcohol like, oh, it's quench my thirst. It's like,
I don't know, sometimes a nice cold cider is good when you're thirsty.
True, but I mean, even then, it's like, it's not the same as a glass of water, where it's like, oh,
I mean, it's not. No, nothing's going to be the same as a glass of water.
That touched my soul. Like,
yeah.
Super good service in the restaurants. It was amazing. We tipped. We did a lot of tipping because we just felt like that was good service. I want to tip these dudes for giving us such a good time. So that was great. Good time. I loved it. I want to travel way more. Next year, I'm going to dedicate so much of my holiday time, instead of having, because what I did this year was I go camping a lot, and then I'd book the Monday off work, and that'd be like sort of a waste of a day, and eventually those camping trips accumulate to where it's like a whole week, where it's like a whole week's worth of holiday that I've used just for like a recovery day, basically. Whereas I think next year I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to try and visit way more countries next year and use my holiday as sparingly as possible. Because I loved Italy so much. I want to see more of the world, man. See more of Europe first, and, you know, spread out to other continents and stuff.
I definitely feel that too, for sure. It's definitely something I want to do as well. Like, plenty of places I want to go. Like, I've been saying for a while, and I haven't done it because it's not coincided properly. But like I've been saying, I want to go to Prague because I think it'd be cool to also coincide it with working on a Kingdom Come video.
Oh yeah,
so I can like have some
where is it again?
Of the places.
Well, it's not called the Czech Republic anymore, is it? Where's Prague?
I don't know actually.
Czechoslovakia? Wait, no.
Maybe.
Is Prague a city?
Prague is a city, yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah, it's the capital of the Czech Republic.
Yeah. Okay. Czech
which
Republic.
Which is the area where Kingdom Come is set. Obviously, you don't go to Prague in Kingdom Come, but it works as a good like place to stay, and then also you can like
go to Ratai.
Just take some. Yeah, exactly. Like take some trips out to Ratai and the other one. What's that one called? The one with the monastery.
Probislovitz. Is that what it's called?
No, that's the other one.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that gets destroyed in like a battle or something.
Okay. Oh, that game's a bang! I need to replay it. That's set during like one of my favorite periods in European history.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's set in like
it's a great
what,
game.
1403?
Yeah, it's like the 15th century.
It's like the same year the Battle of Agincourt in England is happening. Well, no, France, but I think I told you about that before. The battle. It's like where there was like 20,000 French soldiers and like 6,000 English soldiers, and they smashed the French.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same sort of period of time that Kingdom Come Deliverance is set. I would so love a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance, but set in France and England. Like,
very cool.
God, I'd love it so much. I would.
Not enough like pure history games out there. There's always fantasy, medieval fantasy. It's never just medieval game, and that's it.
Yeah, it's true. There really isn't. It's super refreshing to play.
Yeah, it's what makes it so cool. Like, there's not dragons or magic. It's all just like real stuff, and it just feels it's just so immersive.
Get
like,
to put your visor up.
The way they design like their fucking castles and shit. Like when you go into a room in Kingdom Come Deliverance, you're like, oh, it feels authentic. Like it's all small and like got bent corners and stuff.
So cool.
It's cool.
Oh god. When are they doing a fucking sequel for that game?
That's what it's called.
Tassau.
Sassau, yeah.
Sassau.
See, I don't know.
That game came out in like what? 2018 was
2018, yeah.
Like 5 years ago. Yeah, it came out over 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think they've been like sort of teasing it.
Well, they could take as long as they want, okay? Because I know for a fact it's going to be a huge step up from the first one. It's got to be.
I think so.
Because I mean, the first one, it
is
a great game, but there's a fair amount of jank in there. But that's because it started off as a Kickstarter game. Like,
yeah, it did. Yeah.
You know, it's crazy that it started off as a Kickstarter game. Like, that's fucking wild.
It is wild. I remember seeing that first ever like little teaser thing. I think both of us made a video on it. We did, like 2013 or something.
Grindstones and stuff.
Yeah, it's like you see someone doing a thief thing, and he like goes behind someone in a crowd and cuts their purse off and like takes it away.
I don't remember ever doing that in the game.
What? No, I don't. I think you can steal things, but I don't think it's got the whole animation.
Okay.
I think they removed that from the full thing. But the game's still like super realistic and stuff and super immersive. It's one of the things I love about it so much.
Yeah. I mean, when I was playing it a lot of the time, my character was just incredibly sleep deprived. Where he was just like fucking blinking, like whether you could like his eyes close and shit because he's so tired. Like that was happening all the time because I'd forget to sleep. I was just too busy raiding bandit camps and trying to get epic sword and armor.
I literally spent like it must have been hours just going to and from one of the towns, I can't remember which one it was, and speaking to like the head of like the military there or whatever, and getting bandit camp requests, and then going into the bandit camp. And at that point I was so overpowered that I could just go up and like kill everyone pretty much one hit.
Yep.
And then I would just take all their ears, and I would go back, and I'd also steal all of their armor. I'd take it all back. I'd sell it all, and I'd give them the ears. I'd make so much money. It was insane.
Infinite money.
It was so fucking funny.
Oh god, what they need to focus more on though.
It was good.
And the next game is sort of more stuff to do in the open world, because there was not a lot to do in Kingdom Come Deliverance. It was, in the way of side content. Maybe that wasn't the point of the game though. Maybe the point was to be a linear game set in a world that you could explore, but you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, there was a decent bit to like sort of live in. Like that's what I liked about it the most, was that like you can kind of just wander around. There's a similar sort of loop to like Red Dead 2 in the way, obviously, but Kingdom Come is a bit more like you sort of have to engage with it in Kingdom Come. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't eat, you're gonna be fucked. If you don't sleep, you're gonna be fucked. Whereas in Red Dead, it doesn't matter. You can kind of just like smoke a premium cigarette and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But
Smoke a
I really like
premium
that about it.
cigarette.
And it was it was good. Kingdom Come is a great game.
It was a
It's
banger,
very good,
for sure.
very fun.
Yeah, I need to replay that at some point. I would not mind doing a retrospective on that game, because I can actually incorporate real life history into the video, which would be something that I kind of want to do.
Which is like integral to the game.
That'd be really cool, actually. Because
Yeah.
that gives me an
It's
excuse
something
to
I've
like
wanted to do,
research
but
that time period more.
Yeah, it's like I was gonna do it this year, but then I just didn't, because it was 5 years later. I was like, it's sort of perfect. But
Yeah,
other projects are just taking priority. I just don't
that's how
have
it
time.
is.
But,
That's how it is.
you know,
Happens
at
to the
some
best
point,
of us. I mean, it happens to me. I don't even want to be
it
doing this
definitely
Sonic video.
does.
But
Just don't do it then.
No.
Just stop.
Actually, my motivation for it has gone up a lot since finishing recording the script for it. Like, it's actually turning out to be a really good video. Like, I've started editing it now, and it's super
cool.
fun to edit. Because I'm like, the beginning of the video is dedicated to my relationship with Sonic from when I first started playing it, and talk about the Sonic Adventure games a little bit, and the sort of how almost like Sonic's deterioration over the years, leading up to Frontiers. So I have a section dedicated to like the adventure games, and then I talk about I talk about SA1 mainly because that's the first game that I played, and then I talk about sort of SA2 to sort of Generations, and then Forces gets its entire own segment because I just wanted to drive home how shit it was. And then we finally move on to Frontiers. So the intro is probably like a good 15 minutes long before I even start talking about Frontiers.
I genuinely expected you to say a good hour. And I was like, oh my god, here we go again.
Nah, the video is 3.5 hours in total though.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So
that's a
it's
pretty healthy length.
A hell of a long time for a Sonic video. It's gonna get 6 views, but that's fine.
Yeah, true. I'm so scared to ever do another Sonic video after I did that one, the Sonic one, and it just completely flopped. Just astronomical. I don't think I've made a video that's flopped that hard in my life.
Your problem is your title wasn't negative enough. You didn't bait the Sonic fans. Sonic fans don't give a shit when something positive is being said about Sonic, but they hate it when something negative. So
I know.
I'm
what
gonna
should
call
I say?
this...
What should the title be? Like, Sonic the Hedgehog was good other than this thing that
Sonic
wasn't, and it was
Sonic
bad.
used to be good, or something like that. Something,
yeah, true.
In flaring like that flares people up. It's like, what do you mean it used to be good? You're trying to say Frontiers is bad? It was the fucking best game
Sonic
ever.
Used to be good.
Yeah. Mine's going to be called Sonic Frontiers was almost great, or something like that, something along those lines. And I'm going to drive home the almost, because it's like, that's the point that I'm making. It was almost a good game, but it was like, it missed the mark. So yeah, hopefully that gets Sonic fans pissed off, and they'll storm over to my video and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'll just be laughing and I check my comments anyway.
Yeah, true. Who reads YouTube comments in 2023?
Exactly. The fuck?
Nobody.
Only if they're a nice positive one. I mean, I replied to the majority of my comments on my Horizon video. I've read and replied to. Well, I stopped doing it maybe a month or two ago, but for a good while I would reply to every single comment pretty much, because if they've put in the effort to watch an 11-hour video, the least I can do is acknowledge them. The fact that they've watched an 11-hour video and then commented on it afterwards is quite cool. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll respond and engage with them.
Yeah,
but
true.
if it's someone just going, actually, it's like, fuck off, I don't care. I'm not getting into an argument with you in my own comment section. I'm past those days.
I think that's the same for me. I think these days I literally only engage with the positive ones. Negative ones I try my best to just ignore and just leave.
Yeah. If someone's giving me criticism, like on my Horizon video, someone was like, "Oh, it's I've enjoyed the video, but it sort of became unwatchable for me because you cut out each pause in between sentences and it just became confusing for me." And I was like, you know what? That's actually something I've noticed too, and that's actually good criticism.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it depends on the. It does depend. It depends, because that's not even a negative comment.
No, that's
a
just
positive
it's
comment
helpful.
that just has a. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's definitely that. I think something that really was something for me, criticism that helped, or I guess I thought about a bit more, was on my AC2 video where someone was like, "This video is great, but you including every cutscene was like maybe unnecessary."
Oh,
and I
yeah.
thought, yeah, maybe
It's
So,
unnecessary as hell,
future
but I still
videos,
like fucking doing it.
yeah, it's like I'm never gonna stop doing it, but
Yeah.
there are like I'm like maybe I don't need to include like maybe I can cut them down, maybe I can like
Yeah.
you know use only some and
Other ones don't
it
need to be
depends
shown.
on the
There are
yeah,
some cutscenes
it definitely
that don't
depends
need
on
to
the
be
video.
there. Yeah, like you can summarize a cutscene via your script and just have like a clip of that one, and then gloss over it and move back to gameplay again. Like you don't need the whole thing in there. But I like, with my Assassin's Creed retrospectives, I do like including most of the important cutscenes, because those videos to me are like a replaying of the game almost, as well as a review and retrospective of the game itself.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like the journey of the game.
Yeah.
Which
Sure.
yeah, I think I think what I did is I just managed to streamline it by Revelations, like through my Ezio trilogy ones. And it's weird though, looking back, and I'm like, man, I would love to just remake my AC2 one. Because
I was thinking about that as well. Oh god, but it will get to the point where it's like you look back on your Brotherhood one, you're like, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
So you just have to leave it.
When does it end? Yeah, you have to just leave it and be like, that was a product of its time.
Yeah.
It's good enough. Like, it's not a complete piece of shit. Like, it's fine. Like, it's a good video. It's just, I know if I made it now, I could probably make it 3 times as long as well and say a lot more. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do like an Assassin's Creed 2 20 years later or something in 2029, and maybe I'll do that.
Jesus.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe that'll happen. We'll see. I'm sure it will. To be fair, I mean, 20 years later. I mean, I'm sure you'll want to talk about AC2 by that point. You know, it would have been long enough in between where you're like, you know what, I can do it again.
Exactly.
But yeah, Sonic video is going to be good. I have a good feeling about it. There's a lot of fucking actually good critique in there, and lots of funny bits as well. Like, comedy is something that I sort of stopped trying to write into my scripts after a while, because I was like, this just isn't hitting. But I think Sonic Frontiers is such a comical game that it was super easy to write funny shit about. And just the absurdism of the way the story is told through the fucking Coco, which has like nothing to do with the main story of the game. I spend like a good 10 minutes talking about that and how it doesn't make sense. Like it's actually mental. Sonic even says in a cutscene, he's like, "Hey, Amy, don't you think we should try and get you out of cyberspace instead of fucking around with the Coco?" And it's like, he's making a good fucking point there, because that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's a weird
The only thing that ties the Coco into the story is that Sega had them reward you with a Chaos Emerald when you help them. That is the only thing that ties them into the story. Nothing else does. They should have been side content.
It's super weird. Frontiers is a fucking fever dream. Thinking back to that, I'm like, what a weird game. I can't believe I played that.
I played it twice.
That's mental.
I got the platinum for it.
Dude, what a weird game. Like, it's this
it is a fucking
island,
weird game.
and there's like these just platforms in the sky for like no reason.
Yeah, and they pop in and out.
Rails all over the place. It looks like shit.
Yeah.
Like, it genuinely is just like, I don't even know. Like,
game.
I don't even know. It's like a weird, like, fan game, like, engine tech testing.
But even then, there's no fucking momentum physics in the game. You can run down a hill and he just walks down it. They took all of the movement out of it pretty much. Like, boosting is now the only way of getting around. There is no... Well, there is grinding on rails, and I do talk about the movement. Like, there are some good parts of the movement, to be fair, but it's not all good, and there's a lot of shit. It's just like, you know, the title Almost Good is like, there's good stuff in there, but you have to dig through fucking kilometers of shit to get to the small good parts of it. It's like the good parts are stitched together by fucking bollocks. And that's
it's honestly
sort of the whole
insane
point
to me
of
how
the
much
video.
praise that game got.
That's because Forces was so shit. Sonic's been in such a bad place for 10 years that people have forgot what a good Sonic game looks like.
Yeah, it's genuinely insane.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Let's hope the next one is better. Yeah, it'll be a good video. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. for sure.
Do you have any more topics you want to discuss?
I do. I have a couple of topics, but we could probably maybe skip over some. Okay, actually, you know what? Quick fire. I got a few quick fire ones here.
That'll work for me.
To do, and then I've got one that I actually really did want to talk about because I think it'll be interesting to talk about it. But right, so there's been a few little like releases, announcements, and things that we've got that I thought would be fun to talk about. The first one is we're getting another Modern Warfare game this year, right after MW2 last year. We're getting Modern Warfare 3.
Yes, we are.
Have you seen the teaser? What are your thoughts?
This is red, isn't it? Red.
It's red. It is red, yeah. And I think they've got Makarov doing some bits.
They do in the campaign. I also read that they've gone back to, you know how red dots used to show up on the minimap when people would shoot? Hasn't been in COD for like, I want to say like 5 years now. I think they're bringing that back.
Really?
Yeah. It was instead, you'd have to either listen for gunshots or there was a compass on the top of your map where it would show you the general direction that people were in, but you didn't know their exact location. So it was a lot of like wearing headphones and listening for footsteps and stuff in the multiplayer, which became pretty toxic. Like it led to the people like sitting in corners and not wanting to move because you didn't know where anyone was, and it was like you'd just walk into a building and get fucking shotgunned immediately by someone sitting in the corner. But they did fix that, to be fair. It wasn't as bad as everyone was making out to be. But yeah, it's a lot more of a classic game. They've got the original perk system back with Ninja being a perk again, which is, no footsteps, which again is trying to remedy an issue that was brought up by removing Ninja as a perk. No, Dead Silence, I think it was actually. Dead Silence or Ninja, one of this. It's probably an interchangeable name. Yeah, it's a bit weird. They're releasing 2 Modern Warfare games back to back.
Yeah,
I mean MW3.
I'm not sure if it's. Is this one Infinity Ward or is this Sledgehammer?
This is Infinity Ward, yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't. I thought that's what shocked me about it. I thought I was like, oh, this isn't Infinity Ward, but maybe I just saw that wrong.
I think Sledgehammer helped with Modern Warfare 2 as well. And Raven, that helped on Ghosts. And Treyarch is also allegedly doing a zombies mode for Modern Warfare 3 as well, which is weird. But Treyarch zombies hasn't been good in a long time. Like Treyarch, the last time Treyarch released a good zombies component was like 2015 when Black Ops 3 came out, and it's been pretty shit since then.
Call of Duty just feels like it's lost all sense of like direction and identity. I feel like I don't know what Call of Duty is anymore.
It's fucking shocking. Like Modern Warfare 2019 was good. I played the fuck out of that game. It was actually good.
It was. That felt like a return to form, and then all of a sudden it just immediately fell apart again.
Yeah, because they wanted to release games yearly again. They could have got an extra 2 years out of the life cycle of Modern Warfare 2019, but they were like, nah, let's release Cold War. And everyone was like, we don't want Cold War, let's not play this. And no one played it. And then they released fucking Vanguard, and everyone was like, this is shit, what is this? And then they released Modern Warfare 2, and everyone was like, hey, maybe it's going to be a return to sort of 2019 again, like that game. And Modern Warfare 2 was shit because they fucked with all the fucking way the game works, and they fucked with
how
the
mental
movement.
Is that we live in a timeline where Modern Warfare 2 just came out and it was shit.
Yeah, it's
that's
crazy.
a thing we can actually say now, is that Modern Warfare 2 was shit.
Yeah,
somehow.
I can say that fucking Call of Duty Black Ops was better than Modern Warfare 2, and it works. Black Ops Cold War.
It's honestly crazy. Like those nothing will ever beat those days back in the day between COD 4 and Black Ops 2.
2017 to 2012. It was just
2017.
2007, sorry. 2017 to 2012.
2007, yeah.
2007 to 2012. Yeah. It was great.
Those were the years, yeah.
Modern Warfare, well, Black Ops 2 is the best, I think. It's the best Call of Duty ever released.
I think it's I don't know if it's my favorite, but
best
it probably is like it every single element of it is good. Like campaign, multiplayer, and zombies are all good.
Yeah, I'd say it's my favorite. I mean, it's the one that I played them. I was in year 7 when it came out, so it was like everyone was playing it. I mean, we used to have huge lobbies of Mike Myers. Like loads of people from our class would just get together and play Mike Myers on Black Ops 2 and like hide and seek and stuff and just do all this pointless shit. And then we'd go like, oh, you bored of that? Want to play some zombies? Hop on some zombies. And you go, oh, I'm bored of that. Want to play some multiplayer? And you could just endlessly play the game and just cycle through that as many times as you wanted. You'd never get bored.
Yeah.
Black Ops 2 was so good.
For me, I was in year 7 when World at War came out.
Oh yeah.
So we used to flick between World at War, COD 4, and Halo 3. Those are like the 3 games that we just have on rotation. Those are the we coming home from school in year 7, just getting on Xbox Live and playing those 3 games.
Yeah,
that was the shit. And then obviously Modern Warfare 2 comes out and
crazy
Black Ops
shit
as
going
well.
down. Yeah,
that was literally like my most active years on Xbox Live was Halo 3, COD 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Halo Reach, Black Ops 1.
Just all that. Just
so fucking good.
It was a golden age for online gaming.
Yeah.
It's not been ever the same since, and it will never be the same again. But
yeah,
it was a beautiful fucking time.
That was the shit.
It was so good. Like I remember playing Halo 3 with you. We'd like playing like Duck Hunt and shit on like split screen.
Oh, so fun.
Like I remember the first time I played COD Zombies was with fucking Daryl.
Oh yeah.
Like I was in the middle of a campaign mission. He messaged me on Xbox Live and was like, "Want to play Zombies?" I was like, "What's that?" He didn't reply to that message and just sent me an invite. And I fucking joined. I was like shaking. I was so scared.
That's so
I was
funny.
like, when did that game come out? It must have been like, it was 2008 it came out, but it must have been like 2009 when this happened. Like, I would have been like 7 or 8 years old. Fucking Nazi zombies running at me, making horrible, scary noises. Like I remember, I think that night I had a nightmare about playing zombies on solo and like not being able to log out.
That's so funny.
Like being forced to play it. I was so scared of it.
That's so. It's so weird because I don't think I've ever had a nightmare about
a game.
Something. I feel like a game movie. Like nothing's ever actually like fucked me up in a way where I'm like genuinely scared of it.
That's one of the only times it's happened. To be
know.
fair, yeah, it did frighten me. I was a child, and zombies scared me very much. Like just the concept of zombies in general, not just like COD zombies, but like a zombie, it scared me. Yeah, that was so fun. Like, discovering Nacht, I guess, for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good times.
Yeah, those are the good days.
So good.
And Modern Warfare 3 is going to absolutely not be good.
It's going to be. I think it'll be better than Modern Warfare 2. I don't know if I'm going to get it.
But I haven't played a Call of Duty since I played Cold War, but
yeah, Cold War is pretty fucking mid. Even the zombies in Cold War sucks. It's fucking shit.
I remember seeing. I never played it myself.
It's got like armor.
Don't think I touched them.
Like you could spawn in with an assault rifle, and it's got like classes and stuff. It's just not zombies, but it's more zombies than what Vanguard ended up being. Because Treyarch got brought in to do Vanguard zombies, and that was like bottom of the barrel, like worst shit. Like I'd rather play Extinction from Ghosts than play that.
Call of Duty's days are over, I think, of being like genuinely good. Same with Halo, really. Like,
strangely enough, Call of Duty Mobile is better than like the current games. I started playing it sort of casually recently.
Oh my god, it's classic.
And fuck me, it plays like old COD. It has guns from every single of the classic CODs. It has maps from all the classic CODs. It's what I want from a modern console Call of Duty game, but it's on mobile.
They should just do that. Just put out like Call of Duty
Legacy Edition or something like that.
Call it Call of Duty 1. And then it's like
it's like the Xbox One. They could just release a game called Call of Duty. Yeah, and just have it as a collection of the classic games. But then they'd start again.
Do you know what? That's so funny though, because it would be like starting again, like they did with Modern Warfare. They release Call of Duty Modern Warfare again. They'll release Call of Duty again, and then what are they gonna call the next one? Call of Duty 2.
Well, the thing is, fans were releasing a fan game. It was on the Modern Warfare Remastered engine, and it was basically an amalgamation of all the classic COD games from COD 4 to Black Ops 2. I think it was that era. And it was called SM2. It was like this huge fan project that had been worked on for years. It looked amazing. It looked really fun. It's like character skins and stuff you could earn in game and stuff, and like all these different weapons and camos you could get, and all these maps that you could play from all the different Call of Duty games. And recently, it was like near completion, and Activision shut it down.
Oh, of course they did.
Because they're fuckers, and yet they still release shit COD games. Maybe they're gonna do their own one. But maybe. I know for a fact it's going to have tons of bullshit fucking pay to win in it.
Exactly, that's it. It'll be
microtransaction heaven. You know, it'll be a stupid grind fest. and it just won't be fun to play, and it'll take the soul out of that multiplayer experience.
Games just suck.
They do
these
suck.
days. Like, companies
Multiplayer
can't
games
make
are really bad.
It really sucks because you will never find a game with a progression system like Halo Reach or Modern Warfare 2, or like that's just never going to happen again because they're not lucrative. Like, companies look at that and they think we could do that, or we could do this and make a lot more money and people will still buy it.
Yep.
So why would we not do that? Like, there's no reason to make a genuinely authentic, like, microtransaction free multiplayer experience anymore.
Yeah, and they made their way
sucks.
sort of so slowly into AAA games in the West that it's sort of just like we saw it come in, but it was like so gradual, and now we look back and it's like, fuck, look where we are now. So you load up a multiplayer game these days, and before even seeing the menu, you get this pack at a discounted price if you buy now.
Fucking ads all over it. Yeah,
it's fucking ugly.
It's like, I remember back in the day when Assassin's Creed Brotherhood came out, and there'd be a little banner at the bottom that would be like, open this, like, to go to Uplay or whatever, to have like information about like AC Revelations or something. And that was, like, I guess a little bit weird at the time. Was like, oh, I'm getting an ad for the next AC in the current AC.
Obviously Ubisoft were ahead of their time with that sort of fucking bullshit.
They really were. They really were.
Yeah.
Like, with Uplay at all, like, playing fucking Ubisoft games on PC back in the day must have been, well, I mean, still, but, like...
Yeah, it's still a fuckery.
A complete bitch needing a Uplay account and having to verify it. And, like, Ubisoft are the first people, right, that made multiplayer passports. So if you bought a second-hand copy of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, you couldn't play multiplayer because you needed the passport, which means you had to buy a brand new copy.
What?
And that was a thing.
So
that
it's
was
not just
thing all the way
tied to
through
your
Black
account?
Flag. No.
What?
No. So like what would happen is when you got your copy of the game, it would come with a little code, and you'd have to redeem that code on Xbox Live, and that would unlock the multiplayer, so you could play multiplayer now with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. But if you then gave that game, like, to a friend, or you sold it and someone bought it secondhand, you wouldn't have the code, so you just wouldn't be able to play the multiplayer.
That's not fucking worth playing AC multiplayer anyway.
Hey, AC multiplayer is fucking
That's
brilliant.
It's not.
It's fucking fantastic.
Shite.
You're just bad at it. You're just fucking bad at it.
I'm not bad at it. It's just
you are.
not fun.
You absolutely would be bad at it.
No, I swear we played semi-recently. I wasn't that bad. No, semi-recently. It was fucking...
When we did
the charity event thing. Was that even a charity event? No, it wasn't. No, was it?
For the bushfires in Australia?
Yeah, it was a stream we did. I wasn't too bad. I was like, you know, it was alright.
Maybe. I fucking love AC multiplayer.
I just didn't find it very fun.
The servers are all still on, except for console servers for Brotherhood. Other than that, the servers are all still active.
Oh shit!
Even though they said they shut them down, I've been playing a lot of it recently.
Fucking lying.
With because the servers are like also dead. But if you join the AC multiplayer revival server, you can if people are playing, they'll just like, you know, there's like a ping thing for it, and you can just see when people are on, and then just...
That's fucking mental. I can't believe it's still got a small community holding out after all these years.
It's really fucking fun. Playing AC Brotherhood multiplayer for the first time in like 10 years is fucking really fun.
God,
I love it.
What a fucking classic that was.
It's great, but yeah, that's MW3.
Yeah, it's gonna be fat shit.
Yeah, probably.
The campaign will be good.
Thing,
I don't doubt it. Sorry, the campaign will be good.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Modern Warfare 2's campaign was really good, but
I didn't see anything of the Modern Warfare 2 campaign.
Well, that's because
like,
no one plays it for the
good.
campaign. It was good, trust me. Like the characterization of Ghost and Soap and everyone, like seeing the old crew back together, it was really good. But it just the multiplayer sucked, and the Spec Ops sucked balls. It was fucking shit. But yeah, let's move on to the next fucking thing.
All right, yeah. Next thing is the long-awaited Red Dead Redemption port to current gen consoles that has been speculated forever that it could be a remake, a remaster. What's it gonna be? It's just a port
that you can get for free on Xbox already.
Yes, and it's coming to
Why would I buy
PlayStation
it?
5 and Nintendo Switch. It's not coming to PC, so you still can't play it on PC.
You still can't mod it
because you can emulate it for free.
But could you imagine if it came out for PC and there were like true mods for Red Dead Redemption 1? That'd be so cool.
It'd be because
Rockstar
cool.
hate people. They hate us.
This is my theory, alright, with the way that this shit is handled. I believe any of these remasters that of Rockstar games, so whether it's like GTA 5 being released on PS4 then PS5, or whether it's the trilogy remasters that were, again, it was outsourced to another company, as is the Red Dead Redemption port.
It's Take-Two's idea, right?
I think it's Take-Two that are like, we want to do this with these games, and I think Rockstar are like, we don't care.
We don't have the
we
time
don't actually want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I think to Rockstar, they're like, we made Red Dead Redemption in 2010. We released that game. Like, that now exists.
Yeah.
Like, that's the game. We're not gonna remaster it or remake it. That's the game we made. We'd rather make a new game. Like, I think they see it in the same way almost that you would see a film. Like, it would be super weird if like Tarantino remade Pulp Fiction or something. I think they see it in that way, and they're like, we made that game. If you want to play it. Otherwise, don't.
That makes sense. You know, it does make sense.
They can port it to new stuff, but I don't think they want to spend their time remaking or remastering their old games. I think they just want to make new ones.
But Take-Two want money they want that remaster money. They need it.
That's what I think, and that's why I think we've never got a genuinely good GTA or Red Dead remaster. Other than the ports of like GTA 5. Like the GTA 5 next gen version was actually really good. But other than that, not the PS5 one, the PS4 one. When it went from PS3 to PS4, that was good.
Yeah, that was needed because I mean it came out in 2013, like right at the end of 2013, so they needed to release it for next gen consoles anyway.
Yeah, and it was done. You know, it was done well and it worked and it was good.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I think Rockstar see their games. I think they think like Red Dead. Why would we remake Red Dead Redemption 1, or why would we remaster Red Dead Redemption 1 when like we already made it, and they think it's still good, and it's like, you know, I feel like it's like that game is a product of its time, and it should always remain that. Like Red Dead Redemption should always be a game that came out in 2010, and you should always be able to view it as such.
That's why I'd like a remake. It's not a game that came out in 2010. It's a separate game. It's a new game.
I mean, look, as much as I would love to see Red Dead Redemption remade on the RDR2 version of the engine, I'd love to see it. I think it would be really, really cool. I think I can also respect them just not wanting to do it.
That's fine. Yeah, no, it's fine. Like, especially with the announcement of this port, like, I no longer expect that as something that anyone wants to do. Like, it's not gonna happen. I'd love it.
If it was on the cards, this port wouldn't be coming out.
No, exactly. It's pathetic that it's a port. It's not even a fucking remaster. It couldn't even be asked to do that. They were just like, yeah, fucking port it and sell it for $50. Obviously, they didn't release it for Xbox because they knew that's already backwards compatible, so no one would fucking buy that shit.
I think my biggest issue is the price more than anything. I think it's just, I don't think you should be selling this port of a 2010 game for $50. Like, that to me is just too much.
It's ridiculous. I'm not going to buy it because of how expensive it is. Yeah, if it was $20, I'd be like, yeah, I may buy it.
That's fair enough. Red Dead Redemption is definitely worth $20.
Yeah, I'd say so. But $50, I mean, fuck no, dude. I'm not buying that.
I just don't think that's necessary, especially when, you know, modern games are coming out and they're, you know, some of them sometimes they can be $50. Like, that's a cheap modern game, but you know, it's still just too expensive. And I literally have it on Xbox.
Exactly. For free.
Yeah.
For complete free. Like, I know I'm bad for buying games on PlayStation when I can just play them on Game Pass for free or for my subscription and stuff, but even I'm not gonna buy this fucking port. It's not worth it. Say I got the platinum trophy for fucking Red Dead Redemption. Like, maybe if it goes down in price after a while I'll get it, but like, nah, I'm not gonna be buying it for $50 fucking dollars. Fuck off. That is insane. That's an insane ask of me. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know who's gonna buy it.
Yeah, I think the people that will buy it are the people that like just don't have any other access to it. Because if you have only a PS5 or only a PS4, you can't play it because it's only available on PS3 for you then. Because like if you don't have an Xbox, you have no way of playing it. So I think a lot of people that only have PlayStations are probably like, oh, finally I can play Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. I actually can't believe PC fans have been shafted again. That's absolutely wild. Because for years, people on PC were like, okay, just holding out hope. They'll do some sort of thing for Red Dead 1 eventually, and we'll get it on PC. It's actually fucked. They still don't have an official version of Red Dead 1 on PC. That's fucking
I know, it's
wild.
I think the main reason, the thing that everyone say is that the code for Red Dead Redemption 1 is beyond fucked.
It's spaghetti
to the point
code.
Where
it's spaghetti code.
It's like, I guess
give me that
porting it to
shit.
PC is hard. I don't know.
I don't know anything about game design, but don't give me that shit because they've emulated it on fucking. They've emulated it on PC, right?
Yeah, but it's just the Xbox. It's just an Xbox playing it, basically.
It's just tricking it into thinking that it's an Xbox. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so you're still playing the Xbox version on an Xbox. It's just running it through a PC.
Yeah. Oh wait, so you have to have an Xbox to do it?
No. Well, legally, yeah, but no, obviously you don't.
No.
But like that's what emulation is, though.
Yeah, it's
like,
tricking the software into thinking that it's being run through the right.
Yeah, like it thinks you're playing it on an Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is the point. But which is also, that's how Xbox Series X and Xbox One does backwards compatibility. It's just emulation.
Yeah.
So
it does a fucking good job of it as well.
Whereas if you played an original Xbox game on an Xbox 360, that would be actually like Xbox 360s can just run Xbox original games.
Yeah, you could put the disc in, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can use the disc with Xbox One and Series X.
Oh.
But
I didn't know that.
it's not the actual console that's running it. It's emulating a 360.
Yeah.
Which is... It's interesting. It's an interesting way of getting around it.
It works pretty well.
But,
and it's meant, you know,
it does,
they can...
Yeah, it means you can upscale it too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're so good with backwards compatibility on Xbox. It makes me annoyed that PlayStation isn't as good.
Yeah.
But that's why I've got both
It's
consoles.
actually really good.
It is really good. It's insane. Like, the amount of games you can play at an upscale resolution and frame rate is fucking mental.
Yeah,
it's
like genuinely
invaluable to have to play old games.
Like, and it's not even just previous generations. Like, you can play Assassin's Creed Unity on Xbox Series X at 4K 60 frames a second.
Yeah,
that's mental.
It's good after
that's
the
a thing
patches.
you can do on console. Yes, it's great after the patches.
I saw that fucking clip of you actually unironically saying it in that video as well.
Oh yeah.
Where you're like, after the patches, it's actually a great game or whatever the fuck
I
it is.
know. That was the funniest fucking thing I accidentally found.
The greatest setup for a joke ever. It was like years
from
in the
my
making.
AC Unity review. It's so fucking good.
Oh god, this shit is hilarious.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, that's genuinely.
Yeah, we were talking about Red Dead. Shit, piece of shit. Game's good. I don't want to fucking play it though. I've played it too many times anyway. I don't even need it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Fuck you. Take Two. Fuck you. Hope it gets enough money to fund GTA 6 at least.
Yeah, in case, you know, they didn't already have money to fund GTA 6,
yeah,
just
got
in
fucking
case.
Loads of money. This is fucking bullshit these days. People going, developers don't have enough money. So they've got fucking loads of money, dude. They just don't want to spend it.
You've got to buy Red Dead Redemption port because
support the
Rockstar
developers.
don't have the money.
If you don't buy it, you're
gotta
shitting on the developers. You're directly shitting on them. They haven't
they
been
just don't
paid.
have money.
They've been homeless since working on this game. They only get paid when it's done. Fucking hell. Right, what's the next topic?
The last quick fire little topic here was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
Oh yeah, the last Ronin, which we did talk about the other day in real life. Yeah, looks really cool. I'm gonna have to see gameplay first, obviously, before I say it looks. I mean, the concept is cool. Once again, it's fucking developers going, "Oh, we're making a game." It's like, "Oh, cool. Where is it?"
Hey guys, we're making a game. And they said also the information says it's years off. So it's like, why did you fucking show it then?
It's like the fucking.
Why did you do this?
CD Projekt Red going, "Oh, we're working on a Witcher remake. Don't worry, it's like 5 years away though, so it's pointless us telling you." What happened to like announcing games at like events? Oh wait, there is no fucking events anymore.
There's no events anymore.
Everyone fucked off to their own shit. E3 got cancelled. Yeah, I hope you're all fucking happy with yourselves.
You just post a vague teaser on Twitter 7 years before your game is even ready to come out.
Pretty much. You just post like a PNG of like your game's logo, and it's like, ooh.
That doesn't even represent the game at all. You're like, and you caption it like something is coming, and then you click on the article, and it's like, so in 14 years from now, this game might come out.
And then
we don't
14
know.
years later, they release another tweet. It's like, sorry, I know it's bad, but we're delaying it. I'm sorry. Everyone's forgotten about the game by then. It's like, oh, you need to say sorry, dude. I don't know why you're fucking getting so dramatic about it.
We're so sorry. We know everyone was really excited for Golem, and the game just didn't live up to expectations.
It's like, I'm sorry,
really,
guys.
really sorry.
I know everyone was super excited for The Last of Us Part 3. I don't know, what was it? It was fucking the multiplayer mode. They released an apology for delaying a game that didn't have a release date yet.
Yeah. It was like, sorry guys, I know everyone wants to see it, but like it's not ready to be shown yet, so we're sorry for not showing it.
Fucking amazing. It was because people have these crazy expectations these days. It's like whenever there's a PlayStation event, everyone's like, oh my god, Bloodborne 2 is going to be announced, God of War next game, Uncharted's going to be rebooted, there's going to be a new fucking IP, there's going to be 6 new IPs, there's going to be another Crash Bandicoot game, there's going to be Ghost of Tsushima 2. Like, everyone gets so excited, and then it's like they'll announce like
I know.
Nothing, and everyone's like, for fuck's sake. Yeah, they'll fucking announce a bunch of PSVR shit, and everyone's like, oh, what?
Yeah.
We expected all this. We expected Bloodborne 2, for Christ's sake. Bloodborne 2 is not happening. They're not gonna do a Bloodborne 2. It's done.
Bloodborne 2 is not happening. The only thing for Bloodborne that is like maybe possibly one day is a remake. Or remaster, something like that.
I don't see them remaking it, but I can see them remastering it for sure.
I think they might. Look, they did it with Demon Souls. I think they might do it.
I'm
sticking
to
to my
they don't
guns
give
on
it to
this one.
Bluepoint though. Like, Bluepoint did
Why?
a good job with the Demon. I like the Demon Souls remaster, but if you compare Demon Souls, like the atmosphere and aesthetic and art style of Demon Souls original to the remake, it is.
The remake's a million times better.
Yeah, but art style. The graphics are better. The graphics are better for sure, but
I don't care.
The atmosphere of the original is a little bit more. It's cooler. It does look great. I love the Demon Souls remake, but I can see where fans of the original are coming from when they're like, they kind of took some of the atmosphere out of some areas by making Boletaria really bright. And like,
I'll literally fucking fight fans of the original.
Yeah, I mean, it can come across a bit contrarian and you know.
Yeah, you're all wrong except for when it's about if it was about an Assassin's Creed 1 remake. Then
exactly.
Right.
It's the same. It's the same thing as that basically. Like, imagine if like you go to Acre and it's all colourful. Like, it'd be like, what are you doing?
If that happened.
Exactly.
I don't think the Demon Souls remake is as bad as getting an AC1 remake wrong. I just don't.
No, because you can trust Bluepoint though. That's the thing. Bluepoint respect the source material a hell of a lot. If Ubisoft made a remake of Assassin's Creed 1, it would be a gacha game with fucking loot boxes. You go into the bureau and there's a whole room dedicated to Altair opening loot boxes.
Redder's in there. He's got his own shop
in
each bureau.
And you walk out and Malik goes, Altair, I like your new blade. It's good. It's got flames on it.
That's why. And they'll justify it by saying, well, technically you've never seen the back of the bureau, like the camera angle just never
it was always there.
Yeah. Redder was always there.
Yeah.
In canon, yeah. Yeah, you're wrong if you think otherwise. Like, you never saw it. How do you know? How do you know he wasn't there?
And they'll go like, oh, what, you don't like this weird teleporting ability? Animus trickery, bro. It's just the Animus recreating.
What?
Altair is moving so fast that the Animus can't detect him. Alright?
Yeah, what do you mean? Yeah. No, technically it's like, you could do whatever you want and then just say, oh, it was the Animus that did it though. And that makes it okay.
It does.
It doesn't matter the fact that I have to play it. And it's also like, it's like fucking completely like...
shit.
It's so shit. Like, they're like, no, you don't understand. Like,
the Animus did it. Don't blame us. The Animus fucking did it, bro.
The Animus is showing it as shit. Like, the actual thing that happened is actually really close to like the stuff you want from AC. You just don't get to play that.
So just read the book, because that gives you what you want from it. But the Animus, it came into the Ubisoft offices at night and it decoded the games differently than how we meant it to happen. And it put it in-game story. Like, it's fucking Animus. This pesky Animus. It's fucking ruining our games.
Oh my god. The fucking argument that like nothing matters because the Animus did it, so technically that's not what happened. Like, in Valhalla, no, don't worry. The flashbacks to the Isu period, like in reality they're not actually frost giants. Like that's just Eivor's brain.
It's Eivor's brain.
Yeah,
it's like, the Animus can't recreate that.
I get it.
The Animus can't recreate that,
it.
and it also can't recreate the DNA in Odyssey, but it can do stuff that it didn't even happen. Okay, I see how it works.
It can turn Juno into a frost giant. And
it can also have. It can create memories that didn't exist of Bayek looting tombs, but it can't. It can't fucking. I don't even fucking know. I don't know. I'm getting angry about it.
Look, at the end of the day, that's fine. If that's the reason, it's not even a bad reason, but I still had to sit through 2 hours of Frost Giant Minerva.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what reason there is, I still had to do that.
And I
still had to ride a
Frost
fucking
Giant
moose
Minerva as well.
across the fucking Bifrost Bridge. I still did that. I still did those things.
But it's okay because Animus. You know, it started off as a justification for things or an in-world reason, and then it became an excuse for things.
Yeah. I think people don't understand the criticism that, like, my issue isn't how it fits into lore, because you can come up with a million reasons why it fits into lore. My issue is that I have to play a shit game
that
true.
I
don't want to play.
Because you could have like a side email in like one of the old games. It's like, oh my god, I relived this crazy shit. It was like all Norse mythology and stuff, and that'd just be a cool little thing, you know, that's in an email somewhere. My issue is the fact that I don't want to play it. Yeah.
I don't want to play it. I want to play an Assassin's Creed game.
I don't even want to do that now, to be honest. You've ruined it.
I don't want to play an Assassin's Creed game, actually. I'd rather do physically anything but that, actually.
I used to want to do it, but I did so many years of playing this bollocks that I just can't do it anymore.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
God. There's the obligatory complain about shit that doesn't matter fucking section of the podcast. Last Ronin. Oh, we've already talked about this in real life. It looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool. I need to see some fucking gameplay of it, though. You fuckers, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, need to see some gameplay.
Yeah.
All right. The actual topic that I had that I wanted to talk to you about was with regards to the Resident Evil remakes.
Yes.
Because I recently finished Resident Evil 4.
Ooh, yeah.
And I thought it was fine. And I know you like it a lot.
Fine.
You've not played though RE2 or 3, right?
No, I haven't. I've not played RE2 or 3 remakes.
See, this is interesting because I like RE4 was just it was fine. But I much prefer the style of game that RE2 is. I feel like it's just way more my sort of thing, and it just confused me because the remake.
Okay.
Like directly comparing the RE2 remake to the RE4 remake.
Mm-hmm.
I went into RE4 because everyone's like, this is the best one. This is the best Resident Evil game. So I went into it like, okay, this is going to be really good. And I came out the other end and I was like, it just didn't do anything.
It's just not scary.
I mean, that's true. It is not scary.
RE4 was never meant to be scary. You can see that.
Yeah, but see, that's my issue. Is I'm like, I feel like Resident Evil is supposed to be scary though. So why does everyone love this one? Especially after RE1, 2, and 3. When 4 came out, why do people love it so much when it's nothing like the first 3?
4 was one of the first third-person shooter games ever. That's why everyone loved RE4 when it came out, because it played so well. But the original...
It must be a different audience, right? That, like... jumped in with RE4. They can't, like, I'm sure there are people, there's a crossover, but you would have thought the people that played RE1, 2, and 3 and then played 4 probably didn't like it very much.
I don't know. It was pretty universally loved. I believe so. And I personally, I think it's the best out of all the ones that I've played. 7 is certainly scarier, but it's not as fun.
I prefer 7. See,
7's fucking boring. What do you mean?
But see, this is the thing, right? With 7, what I loved about it so much is, one, the atmosphere and the slow pace of it all. Like, I love that. I love around any corner there could be something.
But to me, Resident Evil isn't slow. It's about being a cool agent and killing.
See, that's
infected.
Wild, because that's not I feel like that was introduced in Resident Evil 4. And then they continued it with 5 and then 6, and everyone was like, this fucking sucks. And then they went back to their roots in Resident Evil 7, which
where it is a little bit more horror
I love
based.
7.
7's great. It is great.
What I love, and it's in Resident Evil 7, it's, to be fair to 8, it does blend the two like decently well. Like, I don't love playing as Chris Redfield doing a bunch of like epic shooting and stuff. I just don't find that very fun. But like, it's in RE2 and it's in RE3. Is I love the methodical mapping out of an area, like in your mind and on the actual physical map, of like figuring out, okay, this connects to here, finding shortcuts, everything's interconnected. You got these really like in-depth puzzles of like figuring out exactly how you're supposed to complete a particular area. Like, you come to this area like in this bell tower in RE2 with these cogs and stuff, and you're like, okay, I need to go get these different ones and slot them in place, and like you have to figure it out. And like all the while you've got the looming threat of this, you know, big boss bloke that's like following you around the map that could show up anywhere.
See, I hate the idea of that.
It's so
incredibly oppressive.
good.
It's probably really good in practice, to be fair. But
it's just so fun. Like, it is so stressful, but it's so fucking fun, and I love that about Resident Evil 2, 3, and then 7 and bits of 8. I just think it's so good. And also, like, the inventory management is so, like, you have to be so methodical with the things you pick up, and like making sure that you've like, you know, you leave behind the right things and take the, you know, the things that will help you the most, and like finding different parts of weapons that you then assemble together as well. Like, I didn't feel like Resident Evil 4 didn't have any of that.
No, it just felt like, and upgrades for your weapons and stuff, and attachments. It just felt
so much more basic and linear, and just
it's more like, about
thoughtless.
I believe it's thoughtless. RE4
I don't know. It like there was.
It's more about the action. I suppose
if you don't like,
if you don't like an action-oriented survival horror game, you're not going to like RE4. It's like Dead Space is very similar in that sense. That it's about the fighting and the encounters you get into that makes it fun. The environments.
But Dead Space also had the vibes too. Like, Dead Space also, I felt.
Well, it does have the horror. RE4 is not scary. It is never scary. No,
it's not.
Ever. There's not a single moment that scared me in that game. Well, no, the fear factor from RE4 came from its difficulty for me. I found it was pretty damn. I don't know what difficulty you played on, but
just normal, I think, just regular.
It was hard on my first playthrough. It was very hard, to the point where I died multiple times at the beginning of the game in certain areas, which rarely happens to me in games these days. Like, you're pretty familiar with games that you just don't really die, because it's like, how am I going to fucking die? I know how video games work. But RE4 really challenged me, and I think the fear factor of that game comes from going into an area and being like, fuck, there's more powerful enemies here, there's so many Ganados, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to make sure my resources last me through this area to get to the next one? That's where the fear comes from. It's not from the game being scary, it's from the game being difficult.
Yeah, see, I don't know. To me, I found that very tedious. Like, at the start, I quite enjoyed the combat encounters and, like, doing your parries and trying to be really efficient with it and stuff. You right? Is the call?
Yeah,
good? Yeah?
Yeah, sorry, I just cut out for a second there, but it's back now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I think, at the beginning, I did enjoy, like, the combat encounters, like, trying to be just very efficient with how you string your moves together. I was like, oh, this is quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
But then around, like, the halfway point towards the end, I just got a bit tired of it. I was just like, I don't know. I'm not enjoying it that much. Like, it's quite easy. I felt like I was, like, doing a decent job. My favorite part was the fucking pirate minigame with where you shoot the targets and shit.
Yeah. Your favorite part of RE4 Remake was the fucking shooting gallery. Fuck me. Not even any of the boss battles, like the Krauser boss fight, like the cool one where you're on top of that, you know, big tower and you got, like, parry him and stuff.
It just didn't feel like... See, that's the thing. Like, having the precedent of all the Resident Evils I played before, like, especially RE2, like, playing as Leon again, I was like, this is just, what am I playing right now? It just felt so weird.
The greatest Resident Evil game there is.
It just didn't feel like Resident Evil. It just felt like, this is just not what I want out of Resident Evil at all.
I love it. Like, they need to do more shit like that.
Didn't do it for
One-liners, cheesiness. Like, I love it. I think it's great. There's so many games these days that are just, you're in an old house and it's dark and you got a gun.
No, but Resident Evil does it the best, though. That's the thing.
Because 7 isn't that good. Like, it's good.
7 is fucking great, but
it's
Resident
not.
Evil 2,
there's like 2 enemies in the entire
the
fucking game. It sucks. Like, from a combat perspective, Resident Evil 7
but
is
it's
shit.
Not. But it's not a combat game. That's the thing.
But survival horror does have combat. You can't just ignore that part of the game. And that's what they did in 7.
It's survival horror. It's not combat horror.
I'm not saying it is, but there needs to be somewhat of a combat system. Oh, granted, 4 is an action game. it is not.
It is.
It's an action game with survival horror, DNA in it.
Some of it, yeah, a little bit. I
guess. It's got the resource management for sure. Like that's definitely there.
Like survival horror, I don't feel you need to have any sort of combat system other than shooting. Like that's really, when you look at like the original Silent Hill, or you look at Resident Evil 1, like you got these fixed camera angles. It's really about puzzle solving, efficiency of your inventory management.
What about like Dead Space? That's got a crazy combat system.
Yeah, I mean, that's like an evolution, maybe. But I also think Dead Space doesn't sacrifice the survival horror in favor of just going into combat. I feel like Dead Space is actually a really good balance between old Resident Evil and like RE4's style of Resident Evil. Dead Space is actually really good in between there, I think.
But it's got the atmosphere, but it's got it's got a few puzzles throughout the game, but most of your time in Dead Space is spent killing necromorphs.
True, it doesn't have the necessarily the in-depth puzzles. I think I just love the methodical and like just thick atmosphere of like RE2 specifically. Like that's my favorite one. RE2's atmosphere is just like the police station, for example.
It does look pretty scary.
End, like it's so I've never felt so stressed, but also the most like cathartic relief when you complete an area. It's just that satisfaction drove me to play the other Resident Evil games. I'm like, I just want to play the rest because this has been such like the satisfaction of getting through an area just feels incredible. It's the same feeling I get from beating a Dark Souls boss, honestly. And
you can overcome that
feel
adversity.
That in RE4.
I'm surprised because I got a hell of a lot of that in RE4. Like some of the areas in RE4, like in the lab on the island when you come across the what are they called? The fucking regenerators. Like that shit was scary. Yeah. That was probably one of the only parts in the game that was actually pretty scary with the regenerators.
Honestly, I breezed my way through it. Like, it just felt pretty easy. I felt like I was brute forcing my way through most of it. Like,
maybe you should have picked a higher difficulty.
Think much. Maybe, but
also
like
on professional mode, I think the game really does shine.
I just feel like, I mean, to me, difficulty was never like the thing that made me love it. I guess it depends a lot of the times, like the one that you personally have a connection to. I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's what you come to expect from the series.
Yeah, like I played RE2, I played RE3, I played 7, and I'm like, okay, I love these games. This is so much fun. This is exactly like the type of game I like. And then I play RE4, and it's nothing like it, and I'm like, just didn't do it for me.
It's got so much charm. RE4 is fucking amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. I love it.
I don't know. It's weird. I felt like Leon was a more complex character in RE2 as well. Like I just felt like I liked him more. I had more going for him.
He definitely is. No, that's something that other people have commented on too. I think in 4 they did a better job of sort of fleshing him out in the remake, but in RE4 original he is basically like quippy operator guy that's just really cool. I don't know, I love RE4. I think it's great. It's definitely not a scary game. It's not really a traditional survival horror game, but I had a super good time playing it. Trying to figure out how to get through the next area, because I don't play an awful lot of survival horror games. It was probably like, I went from Dead Space, I went straight to Resident Evil 4 Remake, and before that I played like RE5 and bit of RE7. So it was incredibly hard for me. Like it was a tough game to play on my first playthrough. Maybe that was what added to my satisfactory experience playing it, because I'd struggle to get through an area. There's a new enemy I got to deal with, and that's put into the rotation of enemies that are thrown at you and stuff like that. There's some puzzles in there.
That's just to me like, I'm like, I can get why that would be fun, but then I'm just thinking about like, that's just not Resident Evil. Like, why would I want a bunch of enemy variants where I got to do epic combats? Like, it just feels to me that's like not.
But I thought Resident Evil was always about the mutations and the virus and the different things that come out of that virus. I thought that's what it was about. Not fucking doing puzzle. I guess there is a lot of puzzles in Resident Evil. I don't know.
That's the thing. RE1, 2, and 3 are all quite similar from what I know of at least the originals.
Yeah.
And then it feels like RE4 was because the first 3 were all on PlayStation 1, and then RE4 was the first one that came out on PS2 and GameCube.
Yeah. I think the reason why RE4 is so loved is because RE4 did for Resident Evil what RE7 did for Resident Evil. People were getting bored of that old formula of walking through a dingy, place with a fixed camera angle doing puzzles. That was becoming a tired concept at that point. So when RE4 came out in 2005, it was like, oh my god, over the shoulder camera angles, more action, more focus on gunplay. People loved it for that reason, because they were getting tired of the old Resident Evil. Right. That's why it's remembered so well.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I just think that...
if it wasn't for you, it wasn't for you, and that's fine. Yeah, I think you're wrong objectively, but that's okay.
But I think this speaks to, like, you know, what I like out of Resident Evil is that my favorite, other than the pirate minigame, my favorite part of RE4 was the fucking bit where you play as Ashley, and you're going around in the dark, and you've just got the lantern, and you're like trying to unlock all the doors to get back to Leon. That bit was, I was like, yeah, okay, this feels like Resident Evil.
I like that bit. I liked playing as Ashley. I thought it was cool. Definitely not my favorite part of the game. I mean, my favorite part of the game is probably the castle. Like that entire few chapters where you're in the castle. I think it's the best part of the game. I like the village too. The island is, on replays, it gets a little bit boring to play through. Because the island is incredibly linear. Whereas the castle has a little bit more you can do in it, and you can do a bit of backtracking to do some of the merchant requests and stuff, and yeah, that's fun. But yeah, no, I love the RE4. It's one of my favorite games this year that's come out. I mean, I played it like 7 or 8 times through, so like it was the only game I played for probably 2 months, I think.
That's wild.
I really
Honestly,
loved it.
I think this definitely speaks to that. We have a lot in common when it comes to video games. We like a lot of the similar things, but there are obviously things that we don't, and I think this is like one of the most obvious cases.
Well, it's like Elden Ring
RE4
as well.
Well, like RE4 is such a you game.
It is.
And RE2 is such a me game. Like they are literally like those games. I feel like just define the differences between like the things that we value. I feel
for
like,
sure.
In a lot of ways in games, like that's how I felt when I finished RE4. I was like, I didn't like this. And I'm like, I completely get why George did that.
Yeah,
this is
because
such
I love
a George
combat.
Game.
I fucking love combat, and I have since I was a kid.
And it has quite a complex and like there's quite a lot of depth to how efficiently you navigate the combat. Like, you know, there's that room when you went like with the pillars in it, and you've got the guys come out at you, and there's like 5 or 6 of them or something that come towards you, and there's like the clips that people have done where I think you posted.
Oh, where is that where Ashley gets taken away for the first time? Oh no, she's not been taken away from you. No, it's
not quite.
It's when you first see Salazar, right, and he talks to you, and then they come at you. Yeah, that room's great.
Yeah.
And like the water room where you have to turn the valves and stuff, and there's like just so many enemies come at you. The 2 Garrador room. These are all in the castle as well. It's probably why I love the castle so much. Like the 2 Garrador room where there's 2 of the blind ones, and then there's like endlessly spawning enemies in that room. Like that was, I hated it on my first playthrough. Like I died so many times, and I was thinking I'm not going to be able to get past it. But that's one of my favourite encounters in the entire game now, just because it's so like mechanical with how you have to deal with it, and there's so many different ways of approaching it.
Yeah, I think I can appreciate that. I mean, it's like I said, I did find it satisfying to a point, but I think at a point it just got tedious for me, and I was just like, it's whatever.
Plus, you were expecting something more of like, I know I'm gonna play RE2, and I know it'll probably be a shock to me when I play it, because it's like I'm gonna feel so limited in what I can do, because you're not meant to feel powerful in that game. Like in RE4, it's all about Leon being better than everyone else. Like that's what you feel strong playing it. But I guess that's almost goes against what a survival horror game is, because you're meant to feel on the back foot in a survival horror game. That's why it's survival. Like the enemies aren't meant to be surviving from you. You're meant to be surviving against them.
Yeah. And that's what I love about RE2. And I think, like, part of me, I remember when I streamed RE2 for the first time, I feel like I said multiple points. I was like, if George streamed this, I just know he'd be fucking mad, like furious that this game exists. Like, I can imagine you getting to the top of the bell tower and seeing a missing cog and being like, I can't believe I have to go back down and try and find it.
Yeah, because I don't fucking like that shit. When I get to a door, I
fucking love it.
I get to a door, I'm about to go through it. It's like, you need 3 separate keys that are in 3 parts of the house to get through it.
It's my favorite thing. Like, when they say you need 3 separate keys, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a bitch. And I love it because it's because I know when I eventually unlock that door, I'm gonna feel like the biggest wave of relief. It's gonna be the most incredible feeling in the world.
In RE4, there's a moment where you have to collect the 3 heads at that section in the castle.
That bit's so easy.
And I loved it though. I loved that because it's like
But it's so easy. You don't even have to try. There's just 3 doors. You go in it and you go, oh, there it is. It's right there.
Well, yeah, but like in the other games,
I don't think
I feel like it'd be too hard.
But the point is like, as you're going through an area, you map it out and you know where each door is and each room is. And then when you have to come back to find things,
do that. I play games
so
incredibly stoned, so it's like I'm not gonna remember this random corner in the fucking dark room I'm walking through. I can't do that.
It's so fun. It's so fucking fun.
But yeah, I mean, like if there's a nice variety of enemies, because obviously as you backtrack through the area, in this hypothetical situation where I have to collect 3 keys, if there's a good variety of enemies, yeah, it's fun. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But in like Resident Evil 7, it's like I just see the blob dudes again. Oh, there's the blob guys again. This is an area that I've been to before. Well, that's fun. It's like it's not fun to play. I'm just backtracking through an area and it doesn't feel like it's changed since I've been there because there's no new things there.
But the fun doesn't come from like shooting the enemies. The fun comes from like navigating and being like, oh, I'm like efficient at this because I know there's a shortcut here and I can take that to avoid this enemy or something. And then you quickly get the door unlocked and you're like, okay, yes, I can progress. And
but why would I choose to avoid the enemy when it's just a blob dude? I can just kill him.
Because
easily.
you have to conserve your ammo.
For what? The next fucking blob dude?
For like boss fights and things. Like you might need it later on. Like that. I mean, like to be fair, I think Resident Evil 2 does it a lot better.
Yeah.
Like you definitely feel the consequences of like when you use up too much ammo and you get to the next area and you're like, shit, I have nothing and I'm so out of my depth, and you have to, you know, re-scavenge and start again and make sure you find all your stuff.
I think I'd like RE2. It would
RE2 is so
it would
fun.
Stress me out. I know it would stress me out. I'd probably have to play it sober for that sheer fact, because I'd be just like looking around, walking around, I'd big fucking dude would come and slam me in. I'd be like, fucking hell, this is horrible and scary.
Yeah. Like that's the thing as well with the safe rooms where you've got the typewriters. It feels so like the relief when you go in one of those rooms.
It is a safe room.
Oh,
it's like, dude can't get to me in here.
Yeah.
I'm safe.
Yeah. It's like, especially if he's fucking chasing you, like the amount of times you open a door and Mr. X is right there, and you're like, oh Jesus fucking Christ, you got to turn around and leg it as quickly as you can.
That shit scares me. See, that annoy me as a completionist, because it's like, I know there's a fuck ton of shit you have to do in RE2 to get the fucking platinum, and god damn, trying to do the optional stuff while the dude is chasing me would fucking give me a heart attack, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely scary.
It'd be rewarding though.
Really scary.
I can see how that'd be rewarding though, because it's like I can't kill this guy. I can't brute force my way through him.
Physically can't.
I have to run away.
You can stun him, but
yeah,
you know, just so you can get away from him again. He's always gonna be there somewhere. Like you never quite know where, and you can hear the footsteps sometimes. You're like, he is somewhere near me. It's so good.
That is really scary.
It's so fucking fun.
Yeah, that is cool.
It's very good, and like I mean, RE8 does like some stuff with that. Like Village has some like very high highs and very low lows for like what I like out of a Resident Evil game.
Yeah,
you've got the castle is great. And the little house you go in with the dolls is really great.
Oh, I heard that was pretty scary, pretty creepy.
That's one of the best moments, I think, of all of the games, honestly. That whole segment is just really, really good.
RE8 interests me. It does. I think it's got some of, like, the...
It feels a lot like RE4, honestly.
I was going to say, yeah, it's like almost like a mixture of RE4 and RE7.
Yeah, because it's got literally, like, you start off in a village, and then you go into a castle. And, like, that's how I felt when I was playing. And there's a boat segment, too. And I was
Maybe
like...
it was a few callbacks
like, when I was playing,
to 4.
Yeah, when I was playing 4, I was like, this feels like Village. I feel like I'm playing, like, a precursor to Village. It was so odd.
It's like Village, but if you're not playing as a bitch, and you're playing as an epic Chad.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're still playing as Ethan, and you're still not a strong boy.
No. And Ethan's fucking boring.
Nah, I love the story of RE7 and 8. I think it's genuinely really compelling.
My wife.
I think it's...
And it's got that classic fucking thing that every movie does that has a dead wife, where it's like, home video, and she's laughing, and it's all epic. I do like RE7. I am shitting on RE7. Good, I do like it, but RE4 is
RE7
better.
Was great. The whole boat sequence. How far did you get through RE7?
I got to the bit where you killed the old woman just before you go. And,
right, the second section.
That's a good fight. That's a fucking good section. I love that section.
That is also a good fight. Yeah. Is that the one she's crawling around?
Yeah. That was scary.
Yeah.
Like
RE7's really good, actually.
proper scary. And I like the
love
fight
that
with
game.
the dude in the house with the axe and stuff. That's also a really good fight. And you got like get in the car and run him over and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's
like,
good.
It's a good fight, and it doesn't tell you how to do it. It doesn't, you have to figure it out for yourself, and it's fun and rewarding doing that and stuff. I'd say honestly, my only issue with RE7 is the enemy types. There is just nothing to them. And I guess that's from what I expect from Resident Evil. I played RE4 and I played RE5, and that RE5 was my first one, so I expected that from Resident Evil. Because it's very RE5 is kind of cheesy and kind of like very action oriented. So I suppose that's what I came to expect from Resident Evil. And so when I played RE4, I was like, this is Resident Evil. When I played RE7, I was like, I don't know what this is. It feels like Outlast.
Oh, man. The section after the woman in RE7 is really good.
With the junkie
I really
dude?
like that section.
Like the brother?
Yeah, Lucas, I think his name is.
Yeah. I literally...
That's a great bit.
When I last played it, you have to collect, like, 2 or 3 key cards to get into his hut thing? To get to him?
Like 2 little, little
It's like a blue and a red key card, I think. I think when I last played it, I just collected those and was about to go into his area and just stop playing it. Because I was streaming it and I just couldn't be bothered to stream it again. I reckon I would have finished it. If I was... I'll probably go back and play RE7, start a new playthrough, and I'd probably love it. But it's RE4 to me is... I don't think that's going to be topped.
Yeah, that's fair. It's much more of a thing I think you probably... like, so it makes sense.
Different strokes for different blokes, as they say.
Yeah, that's how it is.
I reckon you probably like Dead Space more than RE4. To be honest, because it is actually scary.
Dead Space. I liked it when I played it. I just never finished it. I need to go back and finish it. I'll probably do it off stream. Probably just finish it.
Yeah, it's a banger. It's a fucking.
If I can find time.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a whole nother thing. But yeah, Dead Space is a fucking masterpiece. The remake was perfect. It was amazing. And I actually hope they do a remake of Dead Space 2 as well, because the old games, they do hold up incredibly well. Like Dead Space 1 still holds up really well to this day. I watched some gameplay of it like around the time I was playing Dead Space 1. Like, it holds up well, but the remake's atmosphere is fucking unparalleled. It's just genuinely really scary. And like the whole what's it called? Like, they had this new system, the Intensity Director, in Dead Space Remake, so it's like if you're backtracking to all areas, instead of them being completely empty, you can get jumped at any point by necromorphs, and they're randomly scripted, so you can't predict when it's going to happen. So that feeling of intensity remains throughout the entire game, no matter whether you're backtracking or going to a new area or doing the few side missions that are in the game. It's a masterpiece. I need to finish my video on that at some point, because I am going to finish it. I will finish it. I know I said a few podcasts ago I'm going to can it, but I was thinking about... I think it's because I played Dead Space so much that I was sick of it. I did about 4 playthroughs on it, and I was like, I just can't be bothered. But now, looking back on it, I'm like, fuck, that was a masterpiece. I need to talk about it and finish my script. But yeah, that's there you go, the RE4 section.
Yeah, RE4... versus RE2.
It's another hot take from James. He didn't like God of War Ragnarok, didn't like RE4. What next? He didn't like Elden Ring?
Not liking God of War Ragnarok is the most fucking vanilla take these days. Everyone's agreeing with me now that didn't agree with me before. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're fucking wrong."
Take, to be fair,
I'm having my Tyler moment where he said Valhalla was bad and we were all fucking coping so hard, and then we all turned around on it. Everyone fucking is with me now that God of War Ragnarok wasn't that good. Like, even fucking Eddie the other day put out a fucking tweet where he was like quote tweeting a thing where he was fucking talking about how there was,
but did you read it? The reasons he put are not the reasons that
God
of War Ragnarok is bad.
He
wanted to see more of Faye for some reason, and he wanted to learn. He did the thing where he was like, we didn't learn how fucking Kratos got to fucking. Oh, shut up!
Hey man, that's the point. That's the fucking point!
Yes! If you told us how, the first game would have less impact. Eat a dick and cope.
Oh,
God.
Eat a dick.
Eat a dick and cope.
Oh, my God.
But obviously, Eddie likes God of War for different reasons. There's probably an overlap, but there's some reasons why Eddie likes it that maybe I wouldn't think of.
He just loves gobbling up lore. He loves gobbling up wiki entries.
And he likes the I suppose it's almost like the reason why people liked God of War, like the originals, like the epic god fights and the mythology and stuff. Whereas 18 is a little bit lighter on that, which is what I think it works well for that game. There's a lot of mythology in there, obviously, a lot of fighting, but it's less grandiose than the older ones.
It's a bit like God of War, like the original trilogy, is almost like a theme park of Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Whereas I think 2018 is a bit more like a safari.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I see what you mean. It's almost like it's a stroll through Greek not Greek mythology, Norse mythology. It's like it's there. You're in this world. It's out the window,
but you don't touch it.
The destination isn't the mythology. The destination is Kratos and Atreus' story.
Yeah, the mythology is a backdrop for what is the actual point of the game, which is Kratos and Atreus.
Which is why it works so good. Whereas Ragnarok goes back to the whole, the mythology is the story, and it's like,
but with the same gameplay structure as 2018, and so it's just this weird, like, it's just at odds with itself for the whole thing. It just becomes
boring. I never want to see fucking Vanaheim again.
Oh, Jesus.
I never want to see it again.
If I have to run across the crater plains again, I'm going to gut myself.
Or, like, run across the entire fucking map to find a fucking Skjold and Hattie place where I can turn it to night and day. It's like, they're not...
Oh, my God.
I had to, like, stop what I was doing and go, oh, it needs to be nighttime. Okay, time to run back 10 minutes to fucking turn it back to nighttime again.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. God of War Ragnarok. Fucking hell.
Jesus. Right, yeah. But that's the topics, right?
Those are the topics. We do have Patreon topics, though.
Oh, I just want to do them next episode. I can't fucking be bothered.
I feel like we haven't done it in so long. I feel like I need to grant the people their topics. They're paying me money.
It's 9 o'clock. I don't have the time.
I know. I also haven't eaten and I'm really fucking hungry.
Look,
do you know what I'll do?
Don't put any out this week. Don't put a request out this week and we'll just do them next week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't put a request out most weeks.
Oh, okay.
I forget. Okay, yeah, no, like, it's fine. Yeah, okay, we'll do it next. But what I will do is I want to read you something.
Okay. Yeah.
Which was... left on the Clubhouse podcast.
Ooh.
But Tyler literally got up and left while I was reading it, and it's obviously for you and me and not for Tyler. And I need to read it to you because it's the next episode in
fucking Breakfast Olympics.
Yeah. It's the next episode in the Adventures of the Flapjack Falcon.
I can see why Tyler didn't like it.
Tyler, I literally finished it and I was like, "What do you think, Tyler?" And there was just silence. And I was like, "He fucking left." For God's sake, I read the whole fucking thing. I loved it too. It was really good. All right,
okay.
Here we go. Yes, all right, here we go. This is the next episode of the Flapjack Falcon. In the aftermath of the epic sausage sprint and my triumph over the bacon baron, the breakfast world was abuzz with excitement and curiosity about what culinary escapade the Flapjack Falcon would tackle next. The Breakfast Olympics Committee, always eager to push the boundaries of breakfast sports, announced an unprecedented challenge, the Grand Gastronomic Gala. The gala would feature a series of gastronomic challenges, testing not only flipping skills but also creativity, speed, and the ability to concoct the most outrageous breakfast fusion dishes. It was a chance for breakfast enthusiasts from all corners of the world to showcase their culinary genius and win the title of the ultimate breakfast maestro. The competitors gathered in a grand pancake-shaped stadium, each with a unique specialty: omelette artists, waffle warriors, cereal conjurers, and more. The crowd was an eclectic mix of cheering bagels, toast slices waving miniature flags, and an orchestra of forks tapping in
so it's canon now in this universe that the crowd is all breakfast items. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes,
okay.
And utensils.
Yeah.
As the first challenge was unveiled, the fluffy Flapjack fusion, I knew I had to bring my A game. The goal was to create a pancake masterpiece that fused the essence of various breakfast delicacies into one mouth-watering creation. I flipped, and flipped some more, trying out daring combinations like pancake-stuffed croissants, pancake tacos, and even sushi pancake rolls.
Ooh.
But as I experimented with increasingly eccentric pancake creations, a newcomer caught my attention: the omelette orchestrator. This culinary prodigy was transforming omelettes into works of art, weaving intricate patterns and flavors with every fold. As the gala progressed, each competitor showcased their culinary prowess in a series of deliciously eccentric events, from the bagel balancing act to the cereal slalom. The competition was fierce and full of surprises. I formed unlikely alliances with some of the other breakfast champions, swapping pancake secrets with the waffle warriors and sharing syrupy tales with the bacon baron. As the
Bacon Baron, he's come back!
His cameo.
Yes!
As the tension built towards the final event, the Great Breakfast Bake-Off, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the omelette orchestrator than met the eye. They seemed to have an uncanny ability to anticipate other competitors' moves, and their creativity knew no bounds. The Grand Gastronomic Gala reached its climax with the competitors vying for the title of the Ultimate Breakfast Maestro. However, just as I was about to unveil my most daring pancake fusion dish yet, an unexpected twist emerged. Someone sabotaged the pancake batter supply.
What the fuck?
In a breakfast drama worthy of a Hollywood film, the flour was missing, and the crowd gasped in shock. Everyone looked around, trying to decipher who could be behind this foul play. My eyes locked with the omelette orchestrator, and a mysterious smile played on their lips.
He's not playing a dirty breakfast game, is he?
I know. I don't like this.
What the fuck?
The Breakfast Olympics Committee announced that they would investigate the sabotage, but they also revealed the final challenge, the Ultimate Breakfast Showdown. It would be a collaborative competition where each competitor paired up with another to create a breakfast masterpiece together. The twist? The pairs would be chosen at random, and they'd have to set aside any rivalries to work together harmoniously.
Oh, I see where this is going.
I know. As we headed into the final part of the story with the Ultimate Breakfast Showdown on the horizon, questions lingered in the air. Who was behind the sabotage, and what was their true motive? Could I put aside my suspicion and team up with the enigmatic omelette orchestrator? And most importantly, how would this wild breakfast journey culminate in the grand finale of the Grand Gastronomic Gala? The stage was set for the thrilling conclusion of the Flapjack Falcon's breakfast adventures.
Oh.
Well, I hope you enjoyed my breakfast-themed adventures, and I can't wait for this clubhouse. But that was obviously that's not relevant to us right now. Thanks, Epic Alric, for your dream.
Wait. Where's the conclusion? Has he not done it yet?
It's not yet. No, not yet.
Oh, okay. That's going to be the last breakfast-based.
I don't think he's done it on. Oh yeah. So he had to pull. He has left a comment. Epic Alric has left a new comment on the next one. But he said he's had to pause the Flapjack Falcon storyline for now to tell a story about how he nearly took Molly by accident.
Oh, okay. And I guess that was for Clubhouse.
What the
Molly story?
No. This was for Horsey and Fox.
Ah, okay. And we're gonna read that now. Or do you want to do that next episode?
We'll do them next episode. Yeah. I apologize, everyone. Look,
there's a cliffhanger there for you.
Longer, but we'll next time. It will be a streamlined episode.
Yep.
Where hopefully we'll only have a few minor topics, then the Patreon topics, and then we can do the down the Fox.
Yeah. That works for me. I was gonna say, yeah, we'll save these articles I've got for next episode.
Yeah. So next episode,
they're pretty funny as well.
Patreon topics, down the foxhole, and maybe a few topics if there's some stuff going on.
It's gonna be stacked, and if we're not gonna be talking about video, half of it is probably gonna be not even talking about video games. And that's when you know it's a good episode.
That's when you know it's a good episode. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Nice.
What episode was this?
Right.
13? Episode 14 is going to be a fucking banger. 13, it's an unlucky number.
Oh my god. Kingdom Hearts number.
That's true. The Keyblade.
Yeah, we're going to forge the Keyblade this episode.
We are. At the end of this episode. Stay tuned.
It will be forged, so
it will be.
Don't leave. I've got
Jungle Skog right here as well. He's been present for the entire episode in the background.
I also have a Jungle Skog. Wait,
I've got it. I'm holding him like my child.
Here's my Jungle Skog. I've got him. Here he is. So, there we go.
You gotta love them. They're so lovely.
They are. They're very big.
They're just so pleasant.
Great.
To look at.
They are. They're just very lovely. Like they bring a room together.
They serve as an extra pillow as well. I use it as a fifth pillow. It's great.
Yeah, he's a good fella. But yeah, that's it. Episode 13 of the Horsey and Fox podcast. Hope you enjoyed your listen today, fellas, folks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's been a good time.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks for episode 14, where we'll do all these topics that we said about.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Very, very cool.
I cannot wait.
And we'll probably get another update on George's Sonic video.
Yes,
and
you
we'll
will.
see how it's coming along, and it'll be great.
Hopefully by that point I would have edited the intro, because that's always the most difficult part. Because I don't have fucking gameplay for the shit I'm talking about, so I have to rob it from YouTube. But Yeah. Hopefully, I'll be
that
well
makes
into
a lot of
production
sense.
with that next time.
Yeah, for sure. And also to give an update on where I'm at. I mean, I know I talk about it on Jazz Lounge, and I always post stuff on Patreon, but for people who aren't
Might
on
as well
Patreon,
plug it here.
I'm working on actually a few things. Obviously I'm working on my Red Dead Redemption 2 video, which I'm still playing through Red Dead Redemption 2. So I don't know when that's going to come out. It might be later than I expected, but that'll be a pretty big one. But until then, I've got a few more little minor things I've got planned. I'm going to drop the Bolt video at some point this month, hopefully. Finally.
Damn.
For all the YouTube gamers. That's a fun one. But I also have like a few other topics. I wanted to try doing videos where I talk about a topic, like a focus, and then use several games, as examples. Because I've seen a few videos where people do that, and I'm like, I like that structure, and I want to try doing it. Because I did it with my Starfield video.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. So I was like, I want to do a little bit more of that.
It's like my boy Jacob Geller.
Yeah, exactly. People like that. Which I just like that
I
vibe.
do love
I think
that.
It's fun, and I thought
Yeah, it's good.
I thought I'd give it a go. I got some fun ones. I want to do one on open world games that aren't open worlds, because I think that would be like
AC1 and like Mafia
idea.
2.
like an AC1, Mafia 2,
Yeah.
LA Noire sort of thing.
Yeah. That is cool. That sounds like a cool concept.
Like a fun concept. But also there's another one I'm working on where I'm in the process of like reading like studies on stuff, because I want like to be able to quote like actual like scientific stuff.
Yeah, like sources.
And it's on this concept that I felt when I was playing through Tunic, which was like this feeling of like being super. It's not like nostalgia. It's like feeling genuinely familiar with something, even though it's completely like unfamiliar to you.
Yeah. That's really cool.
I found like some things that are like play into that, and I've thought about some other games that do convey similar feelings. And I can back that up with the stuff that I'm sort of researching. I think that's going to be a fun
That sounds
video,
sweet, yeah. That sounds really good.
Yeah, I think that'll be a pretty fun one. Pretty good idea, but that's what I'm working on currently. So
nice.
There's that.
There's our stuff laid out on the table.
Wonderful. It's there for you. We've put it out on the table. We've slapped it down. You can take it or leave it.
We've slammed it down. It's caused the table to shake, and all the items on the table are rupturing. That's how hard we slammed it down.
It's a rough time, really, honestly, for the table and everything around it.
That's true, yeah, it's crazy.
But that's it for this episode. We'll see you all in 2 weeks. Have a good one. And don't take Molly by accident.
Yeah. And don't
while we're gone.
Go into a 30-year-old's house and cuck her husband. Because your mates will hate you for it for some reason. I don't really know why.
Yeah. Your mates will you lose all your friends if you do that. For some reason.
Oh god.
Anyway, that's it. We'll see you soon. Catch you later, everybody.
See you later, folks. Bye bye.